Yeah, all right. All right, we're going to pick it back up. Now, I'm not able to test Skype yet, but... Well, there's good news and bad news. We're back going, but I still can't get Skype to work, so. But we did the best we could. I told you guys I'd be back. I promised you I would. Thanks for jumping back with me, Spicy P, Christy's husband, Spread, Hornatius as well. Thank you, guys. It's still not working. I had to take a Ecamm, which is the application I use to stream. They did an update that I have to take, and I think somehow that update got screwed up. Screwed up the Skype line. We'll work on that later. All right, so we are back. No Skype. That is correct, Spread. This is not good. We need to have that for the big games. But Vanderbilt, I guess we could just do what we got to do. Peyton, that could be pass interference, guys, a little bit. So that's some progress there. Matriculate down the field any way possible. Hayden says Skype equals Auburn's offense. All right, so Spicy P says, how does Skype not work? So Skype works because I was able to talk to Hornatius and Alex. The problem was the application that I used to stream the show is not picking up Skype. It's not seeing Skype, which it usually does. So I'm not sure why that's happening, but it is, and we'll get it straightened out. One way or another, we'll get it straightened out for the show next week. I promise you that. There's no doubt about it. All right, so I've got a 1st and 10 Auburn at the minus 47-ish. Peyton stepped up in the pocket and made a tough throw. Rivaldo Fairweather. Uh-oh. And my sound effects are not working.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Hey, Peyton stepped up in the pocket there, man. That was exciting to see that. I was very excited by that. And so that ends up going down for like a 46, 47, no, I'm sorry, 52, 53-yard touchdown. And McPherson puts it right through the wickets for to consummate the full 7 points. So 24-7 is what we're looking at there. And Auburn comes out there in the second half and, you know, move the ball right on down the field. Rivaldo's got to be fired up about scoring a touchdown. Bammer Life says, bench him. Hell, you say. Spicy Pieces Jay, please share that bite on the bunker. Spicy Pieces, I need this bite to be my morning alarm. Just to kind of get you in the mood, right? Well, I mean the mood for winning. That's what I meant to say. Spicy Pieces Jay, while you were gone, we all agreed the clock restarts 2 a.m. beaches. It's going to be tough to do it without a phone line. But that's a J problem. That is not a Spicy P problem. Dang, it's very frustrating, though. It's very frustrating. Uh-huh. Oh. Well. So it goes. So it goes. I got to change my thumbnail here real quick, guys. All right. I'm satisfied with that. So this stream is actually called Auburn at Vandy Part 2. We'll just have to roll with it that way. I feel very weird doing this. Snobburn says, we will all text you. What's your number? Hey, now. Got him. I wish that I could do that. We'll figure something out next week. Ed D jumps in to let us know that the Hornets of Alabama State are now up 14-0 on Grambling. We'd like to hear that. Oh, I need to update our numbers. Peyton is now going to be over a hundo. Somebody was talking about thinking, could he go over 200 in this game? I was like, oh, hell yeah, for sure. Well, he would already be over 200 if they catch the ball. 11 of 18, 125 is where he's at. of 18 and 125. Hey, man, that doesn't, like, on paper, that doesn't look that bad. I need to give him the credit for the TD and the int. Because he also had an int. An integer. It's a whole number. Let's see. Hornatius says Thorne could be the greatest Auburn quarterback ever. It could happen. Spread, I just updated, I promise you. Thanks for the suggestion. Hunter is at 11 for 137. It's interesting that they kind of, they were tailback by committee for so long, and now they just pretty much run Hunter all the time, which is cool. I mean, he's been great, so no complaints. But it's interesting how quickly that paradigm can change. I was trying to get the third down numbers up here. 3 of 10, 0 for 7. All right. So, fully updated over here. And I'm telling you, Auburn's in good shape now. I don't think Vanderbilt can score a touchdown on offense. I really don't. Fresh Boy says 100 yards passing again. That's funny. Damon says, so Thorne has thrown 2 touchdowns. 1 to an Auburn player, 1 to a Vandy player. Hey, you got to get creative, and you're absolutely right about that. Hey, there's Crime Dog, by the way, on the sideline right there. For those of you who are like, oh, he's gone. No, he's not. In fact, I think he'll be back next year. In fact, I'm pretty damn sure he'll be back next year. Well, he's not gone, so you know what I mean. Oh, I thought that dude was that slot receiver that was on the hash. He was wide open there for about 2 seconds, but their quarterback didn't see him, and instead checked down to the tailback and really didn't get much done there. Whale Driver said, is Vandy in the
danger zone? This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail.
Good idea, Whale Driver. That was definitely and this is an appropriate juncture for that soundbite for sure. So I got to give Kozan credit when he texted in and said that he thought Peyton was playing pretty well. Uh-oh, their quarterback just fumbled. Well, Auburn has not done an awesome job getting the ball after it's fumbled. They've done a good job of getting the ball on the ground, but have not done a great job of corralling the ball once it hits the turf. Now, Jalen did, but it was called back because of a foul, and then that one, I think Rogers had a chance to get that bad boy to scoop it, but didn't quite get it. Ambitious Engineer says Keys is a difference maker. Yes, Austin Keys, a little rusty when he came back, but he's playing pretty good football today. Man, if you're the offensive coordinator of this Vanderbilt attack, you got to be feeling kind of not great about yourself. I mean, I'm just being real. 3rd and 18, and it was going to be like a little slant, but Nehemiah had it defended, and even if he'd caught it, he was going to be way short. So another shitty attack for Vanderbilt, and they're going to go to 0-8 on 3rd down. And I'm telling you, Ron Roberts is both good and satisfied with 0 for 8 on 3rd down. I mean, he's just good and satisfied. Let's see. Fresh Boy says, did we get a turnover? No. Auburn has gotten the ball on the ground 3 times and haven't been able to maintain it. Oh, boy. Was that Jalen McLeod sliding into the kicker? Yeah. Oh, guys. Small Time Republic says the Vandy OC is despondent. That is exactly the word I would use to describe what that guy looked like. He was shaking his head, and he's just like, how I got myself to this situation. Oh, wow. Bob Mapplethorpe from the bunker, you guys know, an absolute legend, a pillar of our community at the bunker, sends along. He's been cooking today. Look at this, guys. Now, he was asking on the bunker the other day about how to both fry and smoke wings. and he was taking input. I talked about this on the rundown, and so he used some of the tips that he had gotten from the bunker, and that was what he came up with. Do those look amazing or what, dude? I wish I could pound those right now. That's what she said. Bob Mapplethorpe, ladies and gentlemen. Doing a hell of a job. Stauburn says, Jay, instead of post-game phone calls, can you just give us a tour of your house? I mean, I don't mind. I don't have a way to do it, really. I got that other mic. I have another camera, but I can only move it like I couldn't leave this room with it. I mean, and all I got in here is like basically this stuff for the studio, and then I've got my Xbox that I play over here, and that's about it. I cannot believe that me, as your streamer, as your brain drainer, cannot provide a phone line for you guys. It's pitiful. Oh, my God. What an F. What an L. Huge edge. Wow, 24/7. Easily should be 42-7. I mean, easy. I mean, in fact, you could probably argue it should just be 42-0. Let's see. Well Driver says I can match that. Smoked, then air fried. Spray them with apple cider vinegar during the smoke. Chaz D said I did some reflecting during the blackout. I'm interested to hear what you've come to, the realizations that you have come to. Joko, what up, bro? He says, let's watch you throw down on NBA Jams for the post game. Yeah, I'll be playing as the Golden State Warriors. Chris Mullen and Tim Hardaway Sr. are my guys. That's my team right there. Hornatius says we need Courtney's feet pics right now. Believe me, as someone who's been hanging out with her feet for a long time, you don't need them. Plum Jam says, "Dang, bro, we need to play some Xbox, Jay. I'm down. I play Warzone with the only people I play Warzone with are bunks. Although I've been kind of unhappy. I don't know if you play Warzone, but the playlists have been shitty like the last 10 days. It's just that huge map, and I like the smaller maps. And I also play Forza, and I also play FIFA or FIFA EAFC or whatever it's called. Donnie says offense is hard. Yeah, Vanderbilt. Hey, those girls are having fun, and as long as everybody had fun and nobody got hurt, I think it's probably a W at Vanderbilt. Justin says, I will give Thorne his credit. That was a good ball. It really was a nice pass. There's another DROP, guys. Anonymous says, now brains will not be sufficiently drained. Way to go, JG. Damn. I'm glad we got our 100 viewers back, though. Thanks, guys, for slipping over to this next stream. I reset my computer in hopes that I will be able to get Skype to work with my streaming app, but it didn't work. There was no improvement. And so I'm going to have to get that looked at. We'll have to work on that as we move forward in the next week. I will have a solution. I know of a solution I could do, like if I had an hour, but we don't have an hour right now. Good Lord. What, do we call that? Is that a drop? Are we going to go with a drop on that? A.E. Robinson, you're hurting my feelings now. You keep giving me the L. There's not that many L. I can only take the L once, okay? I don't know why you keep adjudicating this. Oh, wow, that middle blitzer got picked up. Oh, Javarius got a catch. That's going to be a 35 or 40-yard gain right there. Nice job. And I'm telling you, the key to that play right there was somebody picked up that middle blitz that they did not pick up in the first quarter. Let's see who it was. Was it Jarquez? That middle linebacker's coming. Yeah, it was Jarquez picked it up. And that allowed him to get the ball out. Nice. Oh, that's kind of a little RPO move there. 8 or 9 yards to Cam Brown. So now things are starting to cook a little bit. All right, those of you who said that Peyton should get benched, how do you feel now, huh? Nah, I was kind of on the fence myself, so I'm not trying to hate. There's another first down for Jarquez. And we got a 1st and goal from the 6. Spicy Pieces again. Cam Brown gets yards. He's been pretty good today. He had the mistimed deep throw, but other than that, he's been solid. I think that's a keep read right there, and he's probably just jogging into the end zone. Number 19 says we cookin'. Hayden loves the tempo. Robert M says offense looks like they got a talking to at halftime. They're playing with some passion, some intentionality. I just made up that word, intentionality. My wife will love that I made that up. She hates made up words. You think Auburn's going to run to the boundary on this, and they did, and they do, and they will, and my man Jeremiah Cobb with a touchdown.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
It's a 5-yard touchdown scamper for Jeremiah Cobb, who gets his second touchdown in as many games, right? Had a nice receiving touchdown of like Henry's gonna have to go get that ball because McPherson kicked it over the screen. What a dick! Keep it lower, man. Jeremiah had that amazing catch in the Mississippi State game, which looked a lot easier than it actually was. And then he made this run look easy, too, with a nice little cut back. I just thought about that. That's not actually a run, is it? That's a pass. I'll just change it to receiving touchdown. And then we got to give Peyton another passing touchdown. So he's technically 15 of 23. Just updating Peyton's numbers now. 15 of 23 for 183. He's getting close, guys. He's getting close to that 200-yard threshold that Fresh Boy knows is the big one. That's correct, Damon. I was thinking that was a run, but that's actually a pass because he passed it forward. Revin's immediate helmet sticker on the sideline. Ooh, that was kind of a nice return idea there. It's kind of cool the way he just did a retrace. I'm sure Clark Lee is just sitting here going, man, I know our team sucks, but damn, 31-7 to Auburn? Really? Boy, Brock Bowers, their best receiving threat, goes down, and they're still just kind of churning, Georgia is. Brad Delp, former lead singer of Boston, with the touchdown reception there. Young Bezos says, any chance Holden plays this game if we get a good lead? That's a great question because you don't want to get Peyton hurt. But my general thought on that would be that you just keep playing Peyton because, geez, Louise, man. I mean, he was at rock bottom 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just keep trying to play him and get his confidence up. And oh, my God. Look at Zeke Walker. Zeke. It's Pac-Man out there, yo. Pac-Man fever. That was a big old tackle for loss right there. Damn, Vanderbilt's hating this, dude. They are getting absolutely put through the ringer. 80 total yards they have right now. 32 plays, 80 yards. And we've talked before, Auburn's defense tends to lose something between 55 and 65 snaps, but I don't think they're going to get there, guys. They're only at 32 right now. And they're playing at full power. Vanderbilt ain't pissing a drop right now. All right, that was a nice throw right there, and they're going to get the first down on a little deeper drag. Kaufman got beat in one-on-one. He was a little slow kind of getting in phase with that guy. I don't know if that was due to positioning or what. Donnie says Peyton plays for his dad in like D4 football. It's D2, bro. Maybe it's D3. I don't know. There's no D4. That's where Transylvania University used to play. One of my alma maters. That pass wasn't tipped, you guys. Like, he just threw it like that. No, don't be yelling at him about a slant. Why don't you throw a spiral? Well, I think I understand why this coaching staff doesn't like this kid, man. What is that? You throw a wounded duck like that and you're bitching at other people? Like, come on now. Dude, you weren't kidding about Air Force. Good God, 23-3 they lost at home? I mean, I'm pulling for Army any day unless they're playing Navy, but damn. Well, I guess that's a wrap on the Falcons' big season. Dude, that was a hell of a throw right there. That ball should have been caught into at least double coverage with a third guy in the area. That was a major league throw right there. Uh-oh. Womp, womp, womp. Let's see. Knuman says if he magically learns how to read the field, talking about Peyton, what people don't realize is he looks great if his primary read is open. If not, nothing happens, at least nothing good. Feel like Stranger, there he is. Feel like Stranger says, is Thorne all-time quarterback? He is. Man, it's been a while since I've heard that phrase. I was very familiar with it at the time, back in San Diego. All right, 3rd and 10. You thinking Auburn's going to probably pin their ears back and bring a little pain. Looks like Austin Keys lined up in an A-gap. He is going to – he's going to get there. Elijah McAllister with a little bit of a stop there. 2-yard gain, 4th and 8. At midfield, they might consider going for this. At 3rd and 8's a lot, though. So probably not. But, I mean, the game's – they're in serious trouble anyway. I would probably just say damn the torpedoes, but, I mean, Auburn's offense can score a little bit. Hayden says Keys is quick. He really does. He looks good now. I didn't think he looked great his first game back, but you can tell he's freshened up and tightened up. He's looking fast. I agree with you. Here's the punter, Mr. Highball, who is going to be getting some highballs after the game today. Ed D. Coy on the return there. Got maybe an extra yard. Feel like a Stranger says Elijah ate that dude. He did kind of eat him, didn't he? He was just right there waiting. Let's see. Robert M. says, I love Ron Roberts. Can't wait to see this defense with elite talent. They got some decent talent on the first team defense. Really has got some talent, honestly. It's the second team guys that are a little bit weak, so I think that's what you're talking about as they continue to recruit and build up the levels. I agree. This defense has been pretty good. Vanderbilt is just absolutely terrible, though. But they are playing. Auburn's playing a pretty much mistake-free game on defense. Offense, not quite. And that's going to be another 3rd down bust, right? So we're going to give them an 0 for 9er. Auburn is 4 of 11. They're 0 for 9. Yikes. Go ahead and update Auburn's numbers on 3rd down there. Well, I'm kind of bummed out about Air Force getting killed like that. I live in a town here where they have an Air Force base, and there's a lot of folks in my neighborhood that are Air Force or Space Force, and I'm sure they're going to be bummed. You see some Air Force Falcons flags in my neighborhood. So that's a bad one. I think they were like 6-point favorites in that game, and then this got killed. Young Bezos says thoughts on Arkansas this week. I can't believe it. They scored, 39 at Florida? And I know Florida's got their problems, but, geez, where did that come from? That's really got me kind of thinking about this game next week, right? Auburn's going to be playing at Razorback Stadium in Northwest Arkansas. And I don't even know. Going into that game, I was thinking, okay, Auburn looked rehabilitated in a way against Mississippi State. Arkansas's not great. Like, Auburn's going to go over there and score 30 and it'll be okay. But, I don't know, man. I think it's going to take some effort. A.E. Robinson says we're going to lose, and A.E. Robinson's probably old enough to remember Auburn going over there with better teams and losing a lot in Arkansas. I certainly saw a lot of those myself in the late 90s and 2000s. Tuberville seemed to have a real bear over there after he said nothing stinks like a wet hog. So I don't know, man. Let's see. Mega Tiger's giving us some good news, though. He says, don't look now. Georgia 24, Mizzou 21. And Colby says, what do you want to see in the second half? More reps with Peyton? That's what I want to see, yeah. That's just me talking. I don't think giving Robbie reps is really going to help a lot. I think he is what he is. Now, maybe you want to get Holden out there, maybe in the fourth quarter. Let's say Auburn scores again, gets it up to 38-7. At that point, I would consider putting Holden out there. I just don't see any reason to put Robbie out there. And that may piss off Robbie. I don't know. Spicy Pieces, how is Florida so good at recruiting if they're this bad? I mean, a lot of people would say that about Auburn. Auburn's got a really nice class coming in. Plum Jam says Florida doesn't have Auburn's defense. Auburn's defense is playing some pretty good football right now. And I don't necessarily mean, they're playing great football in this game, but I meant in general. They played pretty well last week, too. Hey, Damari's out there right now. He was the underneath receiver right there. So that's good to see Damari out there. See, Robert said Florida refused to spy KJ Jefferson, and he ran wild. How about that? Anonymous says, what an embarrassment Tuberville has turned into. I know I was kind of defending him on Twitter the other day, and against not just wholesale, but like specifically Jeff Pearlman, who's a reporter that I know and really respect in general. He's a sports reporter, not a political reporter, but he was saying that Tuberville has no character, and I was like, I mean, I'm not out here trying to be an apologist for Tommy's politics because I'm not in favor of the blocking all the military appointments, but to say the guy has no character is just, to me, that's very amateur. And it feels very partisan to me, so I jumped in just to kind of defend his character a little bit, and it just, I don't know why I even did that. I mean, I feel like I'm justified in doing so because I've gone back and forth with Tommy so many times through the years. I've written harsh columns about him. I've gotten into verbal, arguments with him and raised my voice at him, and he's raised his voice at me. I've also had a lot of good talks with him. And in general, I like Tommy. I think Tommy's a good dude. I think he's generally a principled dude. He's a virtuous dude, in my opinion. But yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. He just got so much hate on him right now for the military appointments thing, and I do understand. It is what it is. See, Plum Jam says Arkansas mostly ran the ball today against Florida, and all Auburn has to do is stack the box. It sounds easy to do. Chris M says there's no sense in talking politics to anyone anymore. I know I wasn't trying to go there, bro. I really wasn't. I just know Tommy. I've known him for a long time, and I don't agree with everything he does. I think it's possible that a person can be a good person and maybe think some things you don't agree with or do some things you don't agree with, and they're still a good person. I don't know. Just me. Oh, shit, Eddie Robinson's a little younger than I thought you'd be. I'm 24. I've been watching Auburn football since I could talk. Arkansas always scares me. Boy, those of us who are a certain age, and Chris M, I know, is definitely in my age range, we've seen a lot of stinkers in Fayetteville. We've also seen some good ones. Interestingly, for all the shit that Harsin did wrong, his game at Arkansas in 2021 was really good. They put them away. I know Arkansas wasn't awesome at that point, but, oh, for fuck's sake. All right, guys, let's have a cleansing breath. 3rd and 13, drop. Just cleansing breath. Plum Jam says, yeah, I'm going to vote for who I vote for. I don't care if you like it or not. I think that's a good way to do it, bro. I think that's a good way to do it. I tell you what I'm really proud of, though, on the bunker, is that I feel like I get equal shit from Democrats and Republicans. Like the Democrats say I'm a Republican and the Republican people say I'm a Democrat, and I feel like if that's the case, then I'm doing my job. Because I ain't got any interest in taking sides in that stuff. And if both sides think I'm on the other side, that means I'm doing a good job of hiding my allegiance. Stoop Up says, good grief for the drops. How many are we at now? Is it 4 or 5? I don't know if the stat broadcast has drops as an official stat. I don't know that. Hey, that's Taylor Zarzer on the right there, former Mobile radio legend. And a guy used to do a radio show with McCready and was always very entertaining. I like Taylor. I'm glad to see him doing well. He's a funny guy. Got a dry sense of humor, but he's pretty damn funny. By the way, we've talked several times in the show about Auburn's defense where they start to they tail off between snap 55 and 65. They've currently defended 37 snaps, so that's kind of where things are at right now. Oh, Keldrick Falk. No, I'm sorry. Jalen McLeod getting a bite to eat. Jalen's just not quite big enough, at 6'2". I'm not sure he's long enough and big enough to get off the blocks, but the thing I love about Jalen McLeod is high work rate kid, and he's giving you 100% all the time. He's kind of like a much smaller, shorter version of Mad Max from the Raiders, Max Crosby. I mean, you can play Jalen a lot of snaps, and he'll continue to fight for you all the time. Look at Marcus Harris says, right here, bro. Anthony R says, Colton Hood in the game. Huge. I like it. Yeah, Robert says, LOL, people standing for Tubbs in the chat. Yeah, I'm kind of doing it too, and I'm not in the chat, but I mean, I'm not really standing for him. I was just saying. I've known him a long time, and he's been very fair to me. It's about all I can say on that. Oh, EU Taxpet says, holy crap, did y'all read about the Smiths Station mayor? Horrible. Tell me more about that. So my daughter sent me something about that, essentially that this dude was cross-dressing, and he said he was doing it for fun, but then some people were insisting it was an AI ploy or something. I wasn't paying much attention, honestly. It didn't really appeal to me for various reasons. Feel like a stranger jumps in with a super chat. What's up, bro? Easy on the politics chat. No need to bring up William Taft or Michael Dukakis. William Taft. I made a reference to Teddy Roosevelt the other day, and I got a lot of blank stares. Hayden, great question. Who do you want to replace McDaniels in Vegas, Jay? I'm just going to kind of roll with it right now. We got Antonio Pierce as our interim. I watched his press conference the other day and got fired up. He made me want to run through a wall. So let's just see if maybe having a coach that the players like and that has some fire to him, let's see if that gets some work going. Queen Vic, I'm 100% on board. No more Tubbs talk. We're done. And I'm not a politics guy. Moving on. Let's see. Big Gap says, JG, sipping Widow Jane Applewood Rye. Interesting. I've not had that one, bro. I've been drinking Legion today, which is basically lighter beam finished in sherry casks, but it doesn't have a lot of sherry taste to it. I would like to have some Widow Jane. We have had several people in the chat through the year talk about drinking that stuff. I think that's from New York. So, yeah, I would love to have some of that. That sounds good, dude. I usually don't like rye, but I like the apple part of that. Seals winds up and throws downfield. Nice throw, and he caught it. So I said earlier, I'm going to have to issue a retraction that Vanderbilt's offense could not score. And guess what? They just scored. So, yeah, I got to play this, I guess.
I don't like your jerk-off name. I don't like your jerk-off face. I don't like your jerk-off behavior. And I don't like you. Jerk-off. Do I make myself clear?
Diego says, defense falling asleep there, JG. Let's go back to the game. Yeah. Hey, he made some big-time throws, honestly, and that was a good one there, too. He really stepped up. He had that lame duck throw that got me really bent, and then he made some nice throws, and they had some nice catches, too. This is what pissed me off. So look at the right tackle. Look how far he is off the ball. To me, that's not being on the line of scrimmage, but they never call it. And they got their 2-point conversion, so they got 15 now. 31-15. All right, looks like our chances of seeing Holden have gone down. JB says 2nd and 24, and they convert SMH. Yeah, that's horrible, man. Crocky Poo says, game ain't over. Wake up. Hey, we're awake, bro. Mad Barber says, Seals isn't bad. He just gets rattled really easily. But no, you're right. He made 3 or 4 really just big-time throws right there. Look at that. Look at the fans. It's just like an Auburn Stadium. How do these dudes even have they probably think they're playing a Jordan Hare. All right, so Auburn's in a cover. Well, no, they backed out into a cover 2. So that's just a reverse with like a power reverse or power end around, really, I guess is what you would call that. It's nice. A.U. Robinson says, we're going to lose. No, you are being too negative, A.U. Robinson. First, you kept telling me how many L's I had taken. And now you think that Auburn's going to lose. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, Batee is out. Batee is out, you guys. Oh, what a run. And a flag. And a flag. And a flag. Cover 3. Good eye ambitions near my bed. holding call. Going to bring that one back. What a great return, too. All right, so this one's a little bit out of my comfort zone here, but Bob Mapplethorpe passed along another picture I wanted to share with you guys. Obviously, we got some rib action there, but it looks very submerged, but still looks very good. Those of you who are big cookers, tell me what you're seeing here. Yeah, it looks very juicy. I would like to try that. I'd like to take my my turn at that. Those of you who are cookers, smokers, grillers, does that look great? Does that look really good to you? Let's see. AU Taxman says Big Gap. Big Gap was the one. Oh, Jarquez with another big run. Big Gap was drinking the Widow Jane earlier. AU Taxman, who is our bourbon czar, says sipping on Widow Jane Lucky 13 today. There you go. How about that? By the way, I can make this announcement now. I think it's the appropriate time. I've conferred with Chip about who is going to be our swoogan today, and it's particularly prescient because I don't have my phone lines, so we can't really judge calls after the game. Swoogan number 34, the glass, is going to be going to AU Taxman. I want to give him an applause for that. He's going to get Swoogan glass number 34 for just always being a stud and being our go-to guy for all things bourbon. So, word. Appreciate you, Taxman. Always super supportive. That's a very special glass, too, number 34. Let's see. Whale Driver says you do that after a 2 or 3 hour initial smoke, then you baste it in that. 1 hour to dry it a bit after that. So it looks like he is on track for having some damn good stuff there, right? A story that's apropos of nothing. Solo Tigre said, I had a science teacher in high school who was a former cheerleader at Vandy. I once counted her saying the word okay 117 times in a 45-minute class. Oh, boy. A little pressure there on that one on the 2nd and 15. I made tick marks. It was brutal. Okay, 117 times. Wow. AU Taxman gets the glass, and he says, sweet, thanks, guys. Hell yeah. Appreciate you, bro. You have been a stud both in the chat and also off the board, too. Do a lot of great stuff. So there you go. And Chris M., one of our swoogans, says, face red heart shape. He's part of the family now. Part of the brotherhood and sisterhood, I suppose. If J-Bell hadn't gotten a swoogan glass, she should. It's a one-back power. Ends up being a quarterback power, but he didn't run behind the block. But that's fine, whatever. Whale Driver thinks, yes, those will be damn good ribs. That's what I'm talking about. Feel Like a Stranger says, I'm shocked that AU Taxman didn't already have one. I was surprised myself. When he brought that up, I was like, really? Yeah, fuck yeah, of course. That guy should definitely have one. Solo Tigre says AU Taxman is a gentleman and a scholar. He really is. He's one of the really good guys. He is for sure. I was laughing at Hayden saying I love that third down call. End of the third quarter, guys. 31-15. As we move into the 4Q. Yes, a lot of people not satisfied, neither good nor satisfied with that third down call. I want to give you guys a play-by-play on that beauty. He was looking angry. Instead of looking sullen, he looks more like actively angry, which I like personally. All right, so we got a 3rd and 18. We're going to go 2-by-1. And they're going to do like essentially an inverted veer, and Peyton gets tackled for a 4-yard gain on 3rd and 18. So Auburn's going to punt from the plus 49. Wonderful. Great. Awesome. Really, really good, guys. Let's see. Has Oscar punted today? Yes, Oscar's punted 5 times. He's averaged 45 yards a punt. He's done a great job. So he's definitely been punting well today. Let's see if he can put another one in there. Another big one. I like Oscar. He's good. Chris M., who is one of our swoogans, says, welcome to the hashtag Swoogan Club AU Taxman, 5 and 19. for the super chat. He always has something creative to do with his total there. And Chris M is part of a history-making team where he is the first Swoogan to also have an offspring who is also a Swoogan. Number 20 recently won a Swoogan this season, so it's very exciting to have a son, father and son, both Swoogans. And, of course, lots of brothers, because now AU Taxman is one of the brothers. Spread says Hughes stays looking upset. To me, he looks more sullen a lot of times. Now, today he doesn't. Today he looks pissed off, but it seemed like the LSU game he looked sullen. And there was a game before that where he just like was staring off into space, just like sad. And I was like, bro. At Spicy P, I meant like, has he been punting? Like, is he punting? Is he getting the job done? I'd say averaging 45 yards a punt. He's doing a hell of a job. Let's see. AU Taxman says, can't wait to pair my Swoogan glass with my bunker glass. Attaboy. There you go. Real Gear Online says, nice win. Aubies, who are you supporting, bro? I'm just curious. I know you're being nice and everything. We appreciate the support. Although 16 points is probably not enough for everybody here to feel really comfortable with what's going on. Mobile alum in the house. Hey, JG. What up, young lady? How you doing down there? Keeping things real on the south part of the L.A., Lower Alabama. Canoeman says, Mrs. 19 knows how Barbara Bush felt. That is true. She's a tough cookie, Mrs. Number 19, much like Barbara Bush. Hayden gets us updated on the Georgia-Missouri game. Georgia up 27-21, but Missouri with the ball, 9 minutes left. Real Gear Online, do I really want to know? You know, that's a good point. My dad always says, don't ask questions if you don't want to know the answer. But I do want to know the answer. I'm curious. I don't care. I mean, you've been cool, so you could say anything. And it is my promise to you, I will not mock you. Now, the people in the chat, they have not made that promise to you, so maybe they would. But I wouldn't do it. All right, so Vanderbilt's going to take over on the 6-ish, something like that. And Hayden adds onto it, and driving, meaning Missouri is moving the ball. Hotty toddy. Real Gear Online is an Ole Miss fan. Outstanding. Well, congratulations on your win. I know it's probably a little closer than you were hoping. But bottom line is you got that W, and we are all happy because Jimbo's one loss closer to the abyss. And he's still got to go, Real Gear, he's still got to go to LSU. Good night. Excuse me. Wonder what Hugh's talking about in this interview. Mobile alum, and she's not asking this rhetorically. She actually means what she's asking. How is your mom? She had a little bit of a scare, I guess, last week where she had to go to the actual hospital. She's in a facility, a special facility, and then she had to go to the hospital, but she's back in the special facility now. So we're just kind of hoping that she gets straightened out. I think she's on the up and up. Had a chance to actually sit down and talk to her on, what day was that? Wednesday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday. Oh, and I meant to say, shout out to Josh. My mom's nurse out there was a guy named Josh who is a brain trainer. And I was stupefied to learn this. Was fired up that my mom was in such good hands. So shout out to Josh. Appreciate you, bro. You're making miracles happen for real. Yeah. So thank you for asking, young lady. John says Hughes said the defense fell asleep on that last drive. It does happen. I need to update third down. I bet you they got some conversions on that, didn't they? No, they didn't. they're 0 for 10 on third right now. They got a 3rd and 2. There it goes right there. There's their first one. And that actually ends up being a pretty big one. So I would imagine they're 1 of 11 now on third down. And Auburn's 4 of 13. I mean, that ain't much better, but I'm getting a little nervy here, guys. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, I think Auburn's going to win this game, but I mean, AWS has Auburn's winning percentage at like 93% right now, but Real Gear wants to know what I'm drinking. I'm drinking this Legion today. It's like a mix between some of that Suntory Japanese whiskey and Beam. God, that really freaked me out when he got the tip. And it's pretty good. You can probably find this wherever you're at. This is a very common bourbon. It's good, though. I mean, it's inoffensive. I taste kind of peanutty with it. Tastes like peanuts to me, like Beam. Most Beam stuff does. But it's solid pour. And it's low proof. It's in the 90s, so I was thinking, we're just going to be hanging out drinking. Kanuman says, while Neil is not welcomed, we love everyone else at Rebel Grove Real. Real Gear says, "Ha, Neil's fine." Yeah, he's not really fine by me, but he is good at what he does. Definitely give him that. I don't know. AU Duck Hunter was texting me saying he wasn't able to chat on the app. Surprises me. I don't know why. Let's see. Kanuman says he is a horrible human being, Real. However, we do not hold his sins against the awesome people of Rebel Grove seriously. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call him horrible human being, but the sentiment remains the same. Appreciate you having understanding, Kanuman. I appreciate the understanding the difference there. That's why you're a nuanced and awesome individual. Justin says, "What are we doing right now?" Dicking around is the honest. That's my answer. Dicking around. Just not quite getting it done. Again, obviously Auburn should be up, 42-7 at this point, but the first half was just kind of a bunch of just screw ups. It's been a little better this half, but defense seems a little not quite on task. So it's going to be a third and short, 3rd and 1, as Rod Bramlett would say, a long one. Whoa, there he is. Collins M says, "Okay, you unblocked me. You can't quit me. How's Mama?" That would never block you, bro. Come on. Thank you for asking. She's doing a little bit better, honestly. I think she's going to go back to assisted living. I would imagine she's going to go back to assisted living this coming week. So hopefully that she goes back there and she does the things that she needs to do to stay in assisted living. But thank you for asking, brother, and I appreciate you. I know you care. So I thank you for that. 3rd and 1. Oh! Lawrence Johnson. That's the biggest play he's made all year. That's great, man. What a nice play. Breaks through on an important third. I mean, important, you know what I mean. 3rd and 1. And gets him for a big loss on that one. Justin T says, "Monster hit." Thanks, Collins, again. I appreciate you, brother. Wow, you know what's weird on a play like that? It's like he gets through to kill that guy, and there isn't a lineman looking back. Like there ought to be somebody chasing him or something. 4th and 5. They got to go. I mean, that's where we're at right now. He was pressured on that. Oh, what a catch. Wow, Keontae was right where he needed to be, and Shepard just made an absolute alpha catch right there. Nice play. I mean, you got to give credit to the throw, too, especially considering he was under good pressure there. Wow, that was a big play right there. Justin T says, "Great catch." Yeah, that was amazing, man. That's the kind of catches that you wish Auburn's receivers would make. It's a contested catch, and he just goes up and wins it against Keontae, who's a good coverage guy, and he's in good position. AU Taxman says AU would never catch that ball. You said it better than I did. Yeah, that's exactly right. Texas beats Kansas State in overtime, 33-30. How about that? I like Kansas State. I like that coach. I'm surprised they're not better than they are, but they're good. I thought they would be even better because he was by far the best coach. I mean, when he was playing FCS, he was insanely good. He's gotten up on this level, and he's been good. I mean, come on, bro. He's been good. Let's see. JR says, "I dropped the wrong class at South, Jay. I need this win to help heal my spirits." Wait, what? Why are you dropping classes in November, Poppy? Oh, Oh, Jason Jones had a chance for the sack right there. He still gets the job done, though, because they're at third and a long way to go here. Long way to go. AU Taxman says, is Bill Snyder still their coach? I don't know the guy's name. It's the guy from, like, South Dakota or South Dakota State or North Dakota or whatever. The guy who was so good up there. Colin says, glad to hear it. Continued prayers. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Sometimes her situation gets to the point where I got to do a lot of praying, too, because I feel like it's out of my hands and I feel like it gets away from me very easily. Because, I mean, I'm a sports writer. My wife runs a child care center. Like, I don't know how to deal with all this stuff. But there's a lot of people in my place, my spot, you know. Oh, my God. 3rd and 15, and they convert. It's not as bad as 2nd and 24, but that's pretty bad. And for a team that started off 0 for 11 on 3rd down, they're making up ground pretty quickly. 2 of 12 now. McAllister down. Guys, I'm getting a little nervy here. North Dakota State, JB mentions the coach at Kansas State, where he came from. Real Gear Online says, why are you guys worried? Because, look, dude, like, Vanderbilt couldn't piss a drop for, like, 2.5 quarters, really 3 quarters. And all of a sudden, they're, like, converting 3rd downs and moving the ball down the field. Like, fuck, man. And Auburn just seems asleep. Let's see. Robert M. says, defense looks whipped, need depth. Let's see what the snap count's at now. 52. Uh-oh, getting close to the danger zone. Real Gear, and those of you who don't watch the Auburn Tigers a lot, their defense tends to really start falling off between snap 55 and 65. So when they end up playing games and they have, like, 70 snaps defended, they start playing, like, really like ass. So they're at 52 right now. So you're starting to get into the
danger zone. This is your redhead.
The danger zone, yes. Chris Kleiman. That sounds Kleeman, whatever. I've never said it, but I've seen it written. Excuse me. Legit says the middle of our defense is Sharman. They weren't earlier. Yeah, Spicy P says defense hit the snap mark. We're not quite there, but we're almost to the danger zone. JB says, I'll get nervous if they score and convert for 2. Yeah, you're right about that. I'd be nervous about that too. Robert B says, no, their wide receivers are actually catching passes and not dropping them. No, they had some drops earlier, Robert, but they've been on point these last 8 throws. They made some nice catches, and the throws have been better too. DP says Auburn's going to win. I knew Vandy would come out swinging this game. They actually kind of didn't come out swinging, but they've caught up. Bo, defensively, 52 snaps right now. And the danger zone for Auburn's defense is 55 to 65, so they're getting close. And you could argue, man, that their last 7 or 8 snaps have not been very good defensive. Shaquille says our defensive coordinator sucks. I'm assuming that's coming from an Auburn perspective. Generally, we think Ron Roberts does a good job. Things have not been great the last 2 drives, that's for sure. I mean, Shaquille, dude, prior to these last 2 drives, they had 80 yards and were 0 for 10 on 3rd down. I mean, not much better you could do than that. But these last 2 drives have been kind of messy, I will agree. I mean, a 2nd and 23 they converted earlier? Like, come on, bro. JR, I played it, man. I did play it early. If they score, I'm going to play it again because oh, shit. Too much pressure on that one. Cam Riley ends up getting credit for the sack, but it was actually Marcus that had kind of caused that. And Auburn was just crawling all over him on that one. It might have been a green dog blitz right there. Kind of a late arriving Cam, but hey, man, he got there. All right, so it's going to be 2nd and goal from like the 15 or something like that. Yeah, Brandon J, I'm with you, bro. I better not speak that on the show, but I agree with you on that. Auburn will take that, I think, on 2nd and goal. Let him have 4 yards running. So it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 16, 15, something like that. Mad Barber says Marcus is so good, man. Really going to miss him. That's right, number 50, Marcus Harris from Pike Road. Well, I think of him as being from Montgomery, but played at Pike Road. Yeah, he's been so good this year. He really has. Kind of, he was like okay for a couple years, but man, this year he's really come into his own, and it's been a real force up there. They would be lost without him. He's really good up front. I thought he was going to catch that. DJ was right there, but I feel like the receiver had an opportunity to catch that ball. They didn't get it. It's going to be 4th and goal. Wow. I got a little cramp action there on that offensive lineman. Legit says, I hope he comes back to play with his brother, Malik Blockton, who is committed to Auburn, plays defensive line at Pike Road. The issue I would have there is that I don't think that Malik is ready to play next year. I just don't think he's physically filled out enough to play. He's kind of built like Keldrick, but thinner. And the way that they use him at Pike Road, I'm just not sure he's going to be as nuanced enough to play next year. We'll just have to see. But Pike Road's been playing pretty good football, and he's been a big part of it. He's a mess, man. He essentially takes away like half of anything the offense is trying to do because they all run away from him. Real Gear did make a joke, said we like Pike Road. Yeah, that's they plucked Quinshawn from Pike Road, and he's been really, really good for Ole Miss, as you guys know. Real Gear wants to know how the officiating's been today. Yeah, JB says up and down. I think I would agree with that. Generally okay. Had a bad one on a muffed punt earlier that I didn't think Auburn committed a foul. And Auburn recovered a muffed punt, and they gave the ball back to Vanderbilt because I said that he had bumped into the guy, but I'm not sure that he had. And Spread was mentioning that too when he said officiating's been good outside the halo. Man. And they're in real trouble here, though. They got a 4th and goal from the 15 or whatever. I mean, they're going to have to pull something out here just to stay in the game. Let's see, Real Gear says it was horrendous. The officiating was horrendous in that game, in the A&M Ole Miss game. Diego says, hit the like, people. We only have 22 likes. That's crazy. Robert B says, only one awful call, the kick-catch interference call. Yeah, it was bad. I didn't like that one at all. IU Taxman says, rumors that Judkins wants to transfer to Auburn. I don't understand. I heard that too, but I don't understand why. I mean, they're absolutely balling over there at Ole Miss. I mean, he's kind of been down, if you want to call it that, this year. I think it's just because Ole Miss throws the ball a little more now, maybe. But I mean, it's working, man. They're scoring points like left and right. And he had a great day today, so I don't know, man. I would imagine he'd stay over there, assuming that Lane stays. I don't have any reason to believe he wouldn't, but you'd think at some point he might want to go. Thanks for the likes, guys. We bumped up plus 10 on that, so thank you. Oh, and Real Gear kind of laughs and says we've got Isaac Bentley, yeah, or Ulysses Bentley. My bad. Yeah, he's probably he's a really good backup tailback. He'd be starting for a lot of people. Seals throws the ball out of bounds on 4th and goal from the 15, under a lot of duress. I mean, that pretty much wraps it up right there. I mean, Auburn up 16 now, and they're taking over, and you think they just run the football and run the clock down and just kind of get out of here. But the problem is that assuming that Auburn does that, you don't necessarily walk away from this game and feel super good about it, you know? Aaron ceases like just for you, JGT. Appreciate that. I do like likes, so to speak. Spicy P says no turnovers today, streak over. Boy, they got fumbles, but no, you're right, no turnovers. And that spread says I'll take that all day. Just kind of, run the ball out. Get the win. 2 touchdown victory on the road. I know it's Vanderbilt, but you probably just take that and say, hey, man, be Gucci. Stop. Sorry, I was texting my guys in the Auburn Sports group chat. Brian and Henri and Caleb. Spread says really gave up 1 tutty. Wide receivers outside Johnson and Met. Yeah, that's right. So they have 15. Those of you who started watching late or whatever, 7 of those points that Vanderbilt scored were on a pick 6, which is like the lamest pick 6 you've ever seen. Like it was super, super bad. Real Gear says a 16-point win. Hell yeah, you walk away happy. I mean, the way that it's gone down, I mean, you're happy, but you just kind of walk away going, this is not going to work against a good team. But, previous to today, I would have said that Arkansas is not a good team, so this would probably be good enough at Arkansas. But, man, they win in overtime at Florida. And I know Florida's not world beaters, but neither is Arkansas. Scored 3 points in the home loss to Mississippi State a couple weeks ago. Well, they found something today running with KJ Jefferson. So, Auburn's generally been pretty good with run defense. But let's see. Snobburn says, tell Stoltz that he looks ugly in that Cubs commercial. That's not very nice. Justin T says, Robbie needs to come to Troy. I was at Troy on Thursday, by the way, Justin, for the South Alabama-Troy game. I was sitting in a Troy section with my South Alabama stuff on, but I was not being an annoying asshole about it. In fact, when South had a few good plays, there weren't many, I just kind of stood up and didn't say anything. I just kind of put my hands over my mouth like I wasn't going to say anything. Troy was much better that day. South was playing a backup quarterback, though, and you could tell. Let's see. Dark Side says, JG, what's in your cup? I'm drinking the Allegiant today. Allegiant, widely available. This is like 95 proof, something like that. Very just drinkable, easy to deal with. Not going to mess you up too bad. Just friendly bourbon. Kind of like playing at Vandy. Pretty friendly. Not going to mess you up too bad. Now, that's the right read right there. Peyton with the keeper on the inside zone. And, hell, he got a good yardage there on first down. Gets another first down. Let's see. Knuman says, beating a Napier-led Florida is not a major accomplishment by any means. I understand that, but, like, Arkansas, dude, they lost 7-3 at home against Mississippi State. Like, the bar was low. Bill says, do you do anything different on Daylight Savings Eve? So we do get an extra hour of sleep, allegedly. I am so pissed that we continue to do this, play this back and forth with the time zone. We should go to Daylight Savings Time and just stay with it. I'm bummed out that it's going to start getting dark at 4:45 around here. It's too damn early. But they didn't ask me. I might drink a few extra, though, Bill, since I got an extra hour. Bo is great, says, doing the stomp clap singing, we are the champions to my neighbors. Suck it, Vandy. Attaboy. Kaduman says Florida is at that low bar. Yeah, they are. They're not very good. But it changes how I feel about this next game, bro. It does. It does change how I feel about the next game. JB says, wait, we fall back tonight? We do indeed, JB. Tonight is the night. Tonight's the night. It's going to be all right. Oh, God. Please, that's not a fumble, is it? No, they called him down. They called him in the grass before he was in the grass. Bo was great. Said, did Jay just say Robbie's going to play backup receiver at Troy? I did not. I know what you're trying to do. Why don't you tell everybody here, Bo is great, you're going to be cheering for Alabama tonight. Mm-hmm. And why don't you tell everybody that you ended up being a Pike at Auburn, but you really wanted to be a KA, but you couldn't make it, so you had to fall back and you had to be a Pike. I'm disappointed as a Pike myself, but you ought to tell the people. You ought to tell your people. Tell the populace that what you really want to do is be a KA and fire cannons and shit like that. I know, you said you love cannons. You said cannonballs make me Randy. I was surprised, but, whatever, man. My cannonballs cause a kerfuffle. The ladies, they hustle to ruffle my truffle. Third downs, 2 for 13 on them, 4 of 13 for the Auburn Tigers. It's kind of crazy to think they still were 2 of 13. I feel like a stranger says, too bad the phone lines are broken. Doc Dumpster was going to call in from Anderson's Cooper Suite at the stadium. How about that? Let's see. Real Gear says, I went and slummed Old Forester 100 proof. Nothing slummy about that. That's a surprisingly good bourbon for the price. Not bad at all for 22, making old fashions and Sazeracs. So who cares? Got a boy. That's a good attitude. I like it. There's nothing wrong with that bourbon at all. I generally have Old Forester 100 at my house. It's a terrific mixer, and I drink it straight, depending on the situation. Don't judge me. Blake R., a man from the East Coast. What a stud this guy is. JGT Ward Amigo Bro. Late joining for my second week in a row, being that I'm still away from home for work and just getting back to my hotel. Have tried to keep up with the game, but it's looking ugly as usual. Yeah, they were playing pretty good at one point, and this is not that point. We are not at that point right now. But at the same time, they're up 16, and, you know. Let's see. Real Gear says, Jay, you tried Benchmark Foolproof. I have tried some Benchmark. I can't speak for sure if it was foolproof or what it was. Solid. We've got a decanter downstairs. My wife likes to make mixed drinks. She likes old fashions, and she likes like bourbon and Coke. And she's always like, what should I put in here? I don't want to put your good stuff in here. So we always have like a decanter. In that decanter, we have something like Benchmark or Old Forester 100 or Wild Turkey 101. And I think that's a smart way to do it. It helps us avoid any kind of entanglements. Ed D updates us, says the Hornets of Alabama State up 17-0 on Grambling after a field goal. So that's pretty big. I think I've been in that club right there. That's the one that's like right in the middle of the thing, and you can sit there and do like karaoke, or you can actually sing with the band sometimes. I was there for the 2019 SEC basketball tournament, I think. Was that when Auburn won? And me and Ben Wolk were tearing that shit up, man. Oh, that was a strong-ass run right there. That was a man run right there. Ends up short of the first down, but Peyton was definitely fighting. I'm surprised, Vanderbilt, I mean, they didn't take that much time off the clock, Auburn did with that. Chaz says we can't finish, something we have to learn. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Justin T says, why not put Robbie in at the end to run the ball? I just don't think they want to do that right now. Real Gear Online says, come on, Pokes. Oklahoma State playing today. I don't know what's going on in that game. I need to know. I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, because I need to know. Not your girl. I need to know. All right, so it looks like it's gone final. Georgia beats Missouri 30-21, which is pretty good showing, honestly, for Missouri. Oklahoma State leads Oklahoma 27-24 with 2:51 to go. Oklahoma State has the ball and they're in Oklahoma territory, or as the English would say, territory. Nothing else is really. I mean, Oregon's up on Cal. The second quarter. Any big games tonight? Let's see. In the conference, Kentucky at Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, obviously at 6:45. Miami, NC State could be a good one. Late, we've got Oregon State at the Fighting Primes. That's going to be a 9 o'clock game on ESPN. And a UCLA, Arizona, which doesn't necessarily look sexy on paper, but that could be a good football game. I like Arizona at home. In fact, I picked them. Wow. Great response on that swing throw by Keontae and also Jalen McLeod. Auburn's response times, I think, on defense have been really, really good. They've been triggering downhill like madmen today, and that's what Ron really likes to see. Ron does not really like to see this shit right here, though. That quarterback cannot believe he's that far out. It's like a 25-yard thing. Real Gear Online just says Bama LSU, LOL. Slava Boyko, what's up, brother? You've been tough on me this week on the board, haven't you? He said, been a quick game. Oh, just barely hit the 3-hour mark. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to restart our stream due to technical difficulties that still didn't get resolved. But we're an hour and 10 minutes into our second part of our show here. Uh-oh. Eugene Asante gets himself a sack. Pac-Man. Let's see. JB says, why are you an Auburn fan rooting against Auburn players at Spicy P? What is Spicy P doing? Is this about Robbie? I don't know. I have to go too far back to figure out what they're talking about. Raven says, has Vandy gotten a holding call today? I think they got one like on special teams or something, but not traditionally, no. To be fair, I mean, Auburn's defensive line is, for the most part, had their way up there. All right, 3rd and 13. Here we go again. Yeah, I had a feeling that was over. Oh, it was wrong guy. All right. This is like for real the danger zone right here. They got 2 minutes left. 4th and 13. You hold him here and that's it. It's probably still over anyway. Let's see. JR says, you're still going to be kicking it after the game. So here's the problem, JR. My phone lines ain't working. It's a J problem, and I don't know how to fix it. I restarted. I stopped the stream. As you know, you've been here, I think. Stopped the stream, restarted the computer, and hoped that would pick it up, and it didn't. So I'm not sure how to fix that problem in real time while I've got the stream going. So I don't know what we're going to do post-game. We'll probably just talk a little bit. And, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, I thought he was going to have a more clean shot at that. So Nehemiah got the pick, returned it about 25 yards to the plus, I don't know, 27, something like that. And that means they are donezo.
Danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail.
Spread notes, and I know Spicy P is going to be fired up too. The streak lives on. Turnover created by the defense in every game now. Auburn, one of the SEC leaders in turnovers created, and there's another one with Nehemiah with a nice pick. And a return that I thought he was going to have a clean shot there, but he really didn't. And Seals actually got the tackle on that. So Auburn takes over, and I'm sure they're going to be very conservative. There's no need to do anything crazy here. That actually looked like a stretch play, which Auburn doesn't run a lot of. Jeremiah Wright in there, number 77. Real Gear says 1:30 left in the Oklahoma State game. I think when Auburn finishes this game, since our phone lines are jacked and I can't fix it, we may switch over to that and just kind of maybe we'll just have fun watching that together if y'all want to. Or not. It's fine. Let's see. My man Bo was great. Texted me. He said the KA cannon was cool back then. Dude, I was at Tulsa. I was in high school at Tulsa, and the KAs at Tulsa literally fired their cannon in the Kappa Sig House. Oh, shit. Jarquez is out. Jarquez is out. Oh, there's a flag, though. I'm not going to play it. There's a flag. This is going to be adjudicated. Damn, I thought he was going to get himself another one. Russell says that the Sooners are going down. That they just got stopped on 4th and 5. Oklahoma State is now taking over. Wow. Robert M says Mario Cristobal itching to throw here. That is kind of true. I didn't see it. Did you guys see the hold? I don't think I was looking at the right person. Do we have any other games that are in like the red zone? They're like in the witching hour, whatever. Tight games. There you go, Peyton just slides down. Why not? They have to run one more play, but that'll be it. I mean, you know, you get a 16-point win on the road. You don't feel terrible about it. But just the way this game kind of unfolded, I'm not sure you walk away and feel super good about it. I mean, I don't know. You feel good about it, though. There was a time when I thought Auburn was so bad they couldn't win games like this, but they can. They're okay. I mean, Peyton's had better games. He was better last week. Get his final numbers up here. 17 of 27, 194. And that's an F. Look at Storer. What are you doing, Storer? Some really enthusiastic Auburn fans there. Hey, what up, Hanson? That's Sig Hanson's grandson from the Northwestern on Deadliest Catch. A fact you might not have known about. A little post-game rap session with Sir Hugh Freeze. JR says, I feel good about it. Shoot. Yeah, I mean, everybody's cool with a win. And Auburn's now 5-4 with a trip to Arkansas next week to fully get bowl eligible, which would be good. They were not bowl eligible last year. Blake R says, we'll take the dub, and 6-6 is at least looking good, but I want that 7th win. Yeah, for real. John says that the Oklahoma game is over. The state, the Cowboys, the Pokes, as the kids say, win what could be the final Bedlam game for a period of time. It's hard to believe, as someone who went to high school in Tulsa, that Oklahoma and Oklahoma State would not be playing every year. That was a huge deal. I mean, that for those people, that is akin to Auburn and Alabama not playing every year. That I know that I'm not saying it's the Iron Bowl, but it's for them it is. Let's see. Real Deal is here in the house. Real Deal predicted that Vanderbilt was going to win this game on the bunker, so I'm glad to see you're here to take your beating. Although that you could definitely say your wife hacked your account and was just trying to tease you, which would have been pretty clever actually. Bradley B says they don't ask how, just how many. Well said. Well said. JB says JB agrees with me, so I appreciate that. I love having that. Robert M says left 21 points on the field, ? Could have easily been 52-8. Yeah, it seemed like Auburn was really cooking there. Was it late in the first quarter, early second, or maybe it was just second quarter? Auburn was really cooking. I mean, obviously Jarquez had the big run early on, but there was a point there where I thought Auburn was going to score 50 in this game, and they just kind of slowed down. But I'm sure Hugh would probably say, we played conservatively because we had a big lead on the road, and I didn't see any reason to push it, which is fair. I respect it. Because at the end of the day, you're just trying to get W's, and they got it, so. Let's see. A Taxman says, man, there's some big cowgirls jumping on the field. That is not – you're not on my channel. Let's see what I've got on my TV. I can watch Kansas and Pitt – or I'm sorry. I know I've got Pitt. It says Kansas at Iowa State. This Pitt game is still left over from earlier. I'm watching highlights now of the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game. What? You guys don't care about this. We don't have anything to watch, guys? Seriously? Terrence asked a good question. He says about Broom's injury. Broom went down with an injury to his arm in the game against AUM. And it's been relayed to me that it's not super serious. Now, I don't know if he'll be ready in the next game or for the game against Baylor that's coming up next week. But I don't think he's going to be out for a long time, no. I don't think it's one of those deals. Cincy Blitzboard's in the house. My man, there he is, also known as Pipe Layer Nick. Says, sup, Jay? We got our Blitzboard above me right there. It's a tailgate game. You guys can check that stuff out on Facebook at Cincy Blitzboards. And it's a drinking game. You basically roll a dice. You try to get it into the hole. You can see the hole right there. I can't move my hand. Into the end zone. And if you get the right die into the end zone, you start moving a peg down the field. It's actually a lot of fun. And to me, it's the thinking man's or thinking woman's drinking game for tailgating. But I'm hoping that it catches on. And we love Pipe Layer Nick. just because of who he is, but also because of that kick-ass game. Let's see. Real Gear Online says, let's watch the Ole Miss replay. Hey, we love our friends at Rebel Grove. Particularly, Kanuman spoke well on this earlier, but we don't want to watch the replay. We're good. AU Texas says, we can watch Rick Neuheisel talk about Bama or LSU. Well, that sounds like fun. I'm going to watch that game, though. No shit. Kind of pulling. I don't know who I'm going to pull for, though. It's tough to pull for Alabama. It's tough to pull for LSU. I guess from an Auburn perspective, you would probably want to say, like, wouldn't it be better for Alabama to be better? Like, wouldn't you pull for Alabama in a sense? I mean, I know some of y'all can't do that philosophically speaking, but if Alabama comes into the Iron Bowl with more hype, that's better for Auburn. So in that sense, you would want them to win. That's just my idea. Chip says that was one of the weakest 16-point wins I've seen in a while. I'm trying to think of other 16-point wins. I don't know exactly what they all look like. Hey, Duck Hunter, the phone lines are not working tonight. I'm sorry, I can't get Skype to interface with my streaming platform, so I can't take any. I can't take any calls, which is a real bummer. Because at halftime we had Alex Kozan on the line, and y'all couldn't hear him, and I was like, no. Spicy P says, there's no question. It's LSU over Alabama all day. What the heck are you saying? I tried to explain my position, Spicy, though I do respect your thought on this, that you can never pull for Alabama. But I'm just saying, the more hype Alabama has coming into Jordan-Hare Stadium, the better, right? I'm not saying you got to go out there and cheer for Alabama, but maybe you just kind of take a middle-of-the-road take on it, and we watch The Godfather again or something. I don't know. He says, give me a break on the Iron Bowl. I want Bama 0-11. Well, I hate to break it to you. They're not going to be 0-11. But I respect your opinion on this. You're a swoogan and it matters, okay? Real Deal jumps in, says, the magic spell. That's pretty funny. Took us to victory. Auburn prevailed. Real Deal, now he did say on the bunker that he thought Auburn was going to lose this game, but his wife may or may not have the ability to cast spells on people and may have cast a spell on the Vanderbilt Commodores. I can't say yes. I can't say no. There's a lot of people who think that spells are not even a real thing. If they are real, I think Mrs. Real Deal will be the one to put one on somebody. That's just my opinion. She's scary in a good way. Just because she's a powerful woman. I happen to like powerful women. I'm married to one. And I'm co-authored one. Brandon says LSU is not winning, so not worth getting emotionally attached. I am definitely not emotionally attached. Terrence says JGT, Fat Burnett, missed on or processed. I don't really want to get too deep down that road because it makes, I don't know. I'm just going to say it was mutual. And I don't mean parimutuel. I mean, I think if you put me in a tough spot here, Terrence, I don't think Auburn's despondent over it. Let's see. Spicy Pieces, my best friend, God love him, is an Auburn grad but an LSU fan. How has that happened? He swears an LSU win is automatic. I don't see it. Well, I've watched Alabama a bunch this year because my real good friends, Denton's mom and dad across the street are Bammers. And when Auburn's not playing, I usually go over and hang out and watch the Bama games with them because I love it. And Jenny Dell looking good tonight, AU Taxman says. She looks good every night. They are not what they've been. Their quarterback can throw deep, and that's about it. He can also run. But, like, the nuance stuff, he ain't got it. And Jace McClellan, their tailback, I mean, he's pretty good. Like, for Alabama, he's not great. I don't know, whatever. Let's see. Robert says YouTube TV has LSU Bama, USC Wash. Ooh, that's a pretty good game. Michigan Purdue, which will not be a good game, and BYU West Virginia, which is kind of a weird game. I'm kind of thinking, like, here's the deal on West Virginia. I'm kind of hoping they lose and Neil Brown gets fired and he goes back to Troy when John Summerall moves up. That's kind of what I was thinking. I like Neil best at Troy. Boy, he really did a good job at Troy. Fresh Boy says we won. War Eagle, War Eagle, War Eagle. Yes. This is absolutely true. This is an indisputable fact. By the way, those of you who are tuning in to get the post-game stuff that we usually do here on the Brain Drain, for reasons that I don't totally understand, I'm not able to get Skype to hook into my streaming application, so I'm not able to do post-game calls, which is a huge bummer, and I'm not happy about it. About an hour and a half ago, we reset the whole – I literally stopped the stream, restarted my computer, started the stream back up, and we still weren't able to get Skype working. So we can't take calls. That's a huge bummer. Taking calls from the bunker people, from our regular folks, is a really important part of the show, and it's stuff I love doing. But we can't do it tonight because that. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to be chatting and hanging out a little bit, making fun of Jimbo losing, and kvetching about what to think of this Alabama LSU game coming up. I feel like a stranger says, what did you think of the Hoops exhibition game? I thought they were good. They went over 100 points. I thought most dudes played really well. Chad Baker-Mazara shot the ball. Denver shot the ball. Janai was kind of a loss in the sense that he got hurt very early and didn't play much. But in general, and Aiden didn't play either, but they did what they had to do, and I think they're pretty good. That's approximately what the score was of the Furman scrimmage. So, they're playing Baylor. Is that Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember which day it is, up in Dakotas. And that'll be pretty good. Brandon, hold on. Emilio, what up, bro? Thank you for the super chat, bro. Deuces, thank you for the show, JGT. War Powerful Women. Looking forward to playing GT in a bowl. Wow. That would be an interesting game, I guess. War Powerful Women. I guess you mean talking about me liking powerful women? I do. That's just kind of, I'm married to one. I co-authored one. And I've always dated women that were before I met Courtney, that were tougher and louder. I don't know. I ought to talk to my therapist about what's going on there. So my mom's really demure and quiet. I don't know. Usually. There's probably some reason. I don't know. Brandon J says Whiskey and Wine, which is the LSU, the T-Bob and his co-partner do a show after the LSU games, and man, when they lose, it's amazing. Spicy P. Now this is an interesting point, Spicy P. If we're mutually parting ways with a 4-star, we are on the way back. I've said this twice to people this week, people who know what they're doing. I was like, hey, I understand if you're going to cut bait on this kid, whatever. Are you sure that you've got guys? Alvin Henderson's a stud, okay? The tailback at Elba, I think he's super good. I think he's we joke about this, but he's a 6-star recruit to me. He's a slam dunk 5-star badass. And I think they can get him. I think they're going to get him. Yeah. I don't know. Burnett he's not had a super impressive senior season, and they feel like they can do better, just in a general sense. Not necessarily better than him, just maybe we allocate that spot to somebody that plays linebacker or plays defensive end or whatever. I don't know. I would have a really hard time if I was a recruiting coordinator or a head coach or whatever playing that game. It's tough because you're just what if we end up not accentuating somebody like Quinshon Judkins and he ends up going to – Quinshon Judkins is a great example. Auburn didn't fight as hard as it could have for Quinshon Judkins. I'm not saying that they could have beat Ole Miss. It probably could have if it was absolutely showdown time, but they didn't. Ultimately, Ole Miss came over and showed him more love, and he went to Ole Miss, and he's been super good. He's awesome. You hate to lose those. You hate to just let a guy from your own backyard go to Ole Miss and be a badass, right? But you do have to make decisions sometimes about this guy, that guy. It's tough, and I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. I don't make enough money for that. Stu Pup says Vanderbilt Stadium is deep fried cheeks. That's a very cool parlance there because, the young kids call it cheeks. What is that on his helmet? What are these guys? Oh, it's Louisville. That's why. Wearing the stupid-ass uniforms. I don't like Louisville, guys. To be honest with you. I was born there, but I don't like them. Russell says we're going to have the Rec Tech Pajama Parade for bowl game. Dating myself. Yeah, that's a few years back, Russell. We're going to go streaking. We're going to go grease the rails. Woo! That would be cool, though. Auburn hasn't played Georgia Tech since 03, right? And that was a game that I think we would all like to just go ahead and forget ever happened because that game was a mess. Over there at Bobby Dodd Stadium, it was wet. They had just redone the press box, not that you guys give a shit, and it was like all they had let the water in and they had like exposed electrical wires, and I was like, I'm going to get electrocuted here today. There's no doubt about it. But I didn't, thank goodness. I'm still ugly, though. Didn't really help. Bradley B says Potato Head didn't recruit shit. That's why we're in the boat we're in. That is absolutely true. Auburn's got some decent first-teamers, but in general, Auburn's depth is really, really not good, particularly on defense where they get wore down and things get bad. Oh, since I'm watching highlights from the Clemson game, I do have a Clemson soundbite.
And I ain't going to let some smart-ass kid get on this phone and create this stuff. So if you got a problem with that, I don't care, all right?
Aight. Spicy Pete says, sorry, guys. We're streaming through the Bama game. There's no doubt. I'm going to probably watch that one. Let's see. Robert says, if it ever came to the point of Hugh having to choose between Roberts and Crime, who's he taking? First of all, I respect your question. I know we'll answer it. I don't think that this situation with Crime came down to him and Roberts. I do think they have had their differences, just like everybody has when you work closely with guys like this in pressure situations. Shit, I mean, I've had it. I fussed. I wouldn't say fight, but I fussed with Brian Matthews. I haven't really fussed with Stultz as much, but just because he's kind of new. But I've certainly fussed with Hokinson and Jay Lee when they've been on my team and stuff. I don't think that much of the fussing. People do that. There's some other things at play there that I don't think are necessarily, they aren't really crime problems. So I think both of those guys will be back, honestly, and I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think there's other forces at play that are going to have to get rectified is probably the way I would leave that. Bo is great, says about to head out to dinner. War Damn Eagle, guys. Appreciate you being here, brother. And also Fi-Fi. Bradley B says Dabo calling out the ungrateful. I don't know if you're joking, but that is exactly who he's calling out. Yeah. Ruxy Poo is here in the house. I referenced you earlier, Rux. Talking about Army's big win. I think they were getting the Ruxy Poo bump on that after you being at their game last week. Beat the absolute piss out of Air Force today, a team that had been previously undefeated. Spicy P says, is Auburn better than Baylor? That's tough for me to know, man. I don't know a lot about Baylor. Let me see what Ken Palm says about Baylor. I haven't logged into Ken Palm in a minute. Hello? We're looking for the chick with the big boobs. All right, so at beginning of season, Ken Palm's got Baylor at 7. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. They haven't played a game. And he's got Auburn, Ken Palm's got Auburn at 15, which seems fair. Auburn's kind of serially underrated just because it's Auburn, you know. I don't think they're quite to the point yet where people are on board all the time, you know, the way that they are for some of these other teams. That's just my opinion. I know that Ken Palm would probably say, hey, it's a computer model. I don't give a shit about reputations. But, like, when you look at the top 10 teams on Ken Palm, it's Purdue, Kansas, Houston, Connecticut, which is the defending national championship, Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Tennessee, Duke, and Alabama. Like, it's just a bunch of darling teams, you know? I mean, that's just the way I see it anyway. It may just be because I'm, like, coming from the Auburn perspective, and I feel like Auburn is serially underrated in basketball for various reasons. And I don't even have, like, a projected starting lineup here for these guys. They don't have any stats. I can look at last year's team, though, but I don't know who's back. It's hard for me to know. So, yeah, the bottom line is that Baylor is pretty good, I would imagine, but we'll see. Rexy Poo says, Army over Air Force is wild. Thought Air Force was pretty good, and Army is not great this year. Yeah, it seems that way, but they got the Ruxy bump, man. Let's see. Spicy P says we've got Baylor, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and Indiana in our first 10 games. Yeah, I mean, that's a little misleading. Indiana's kind of ass. Like they're not what they used to be. Let me pull Auburn up here real quick. All right, Baylor, Notre Dame. God, you know what's crazy about Notre Dame is I went to a really small high school in Tulsa. One of my classmates, Zach Harbaugh, his son plays at Notre Dame basketball. It's crazy. I can't believe that. All right, so Baylor, Notre Dame, like you said, Virginia Tech. Let's see, they got Baylor at 7, Notre Dame 165, Virginia Tech 65, Indiana 49. So they're not really ass. And then USC is going to be on the 17th of December at the arena at Neville. So that's pretty tough. Ken Palm likes USC. Got them at 21 right now. Again, I can't tell like who's on their team or whatever. I just don't know enough about it. So yeah, it's a fairly tough schedule, but he's got a team, man. Like Auburn's got pieces. Terrence says LJ Cryer, their top scorer, now plays at Houston. Yeah, Auburn was really trying to get in on him and talk to him. But, yeah, he ended up going to Houston. Spicy Pieces, Alabama. Yikes. These people, the people that are like wise guys in the basketball world, they love some Alabama, like current day Alabama. And Brandon J says, RIP Bobby Knight. You know, you bring up a point there. Well, you didn't really bring it up, but I'm bringing it up. Bobby Knight died, one of the truly great coaches, like ever, in college basketball. And you didn't really see much about it. It was kind of like, let's see, Brandon J says, JG, are you concerned about 1 of 17 from 3? Dude, Denver was like 4 of 6, so they could have been 1 of 17. No, I'm not really worried about the shooting. I know Denver's going to shoot, and I know that over the course of a season, Chad Baker-Mazar is going to shoot. We call him Giga Chad on the bunker. I think Chaney can shoot some. I think he's going to be like a 30% three-point guy. I think Denver and Chad can be 40% three-point guys. I think Aiden will be a good percentage three-point guy. I don't think he'll be a volume guy because he's got to get a certain kind of shot because his shot, he releases it like from here. So he's going to have to be like super open to shoot it, and I think he'll be smart about that. MWD says, you went to high school with a Harbaugh? Did he steal the kick me sign off your back? I don't think Zach's related. If he's related to those Harbaughs, it's like tangentially. But, yeah, and I saw him at the reunion like I guess it's 2 years ago now. Had a great time with him. I forgot what his kid's name is, though, but he'll be listed on the Notre Dame site as being Harbaugh from Owasso, Oklahoma. Ruxy Poo says, what is the starting lineup against Baylor? So I would think that would be Trey at point. I think that would be Denver at 2. I think that would be – well, they started Chris the other night at 3. It's really probably Chaney. And then Jay Will at 4. And then probably end up being Dylan at center. That's my guess. I don't know for sure about Janai. I mean, I don't think he's going to be out for a long time, but he might be out for that game. He might be. I don't know. I'm trying to find something to watch here. What's the deal? So we got Kansas and Iowa State. I don't really want to watch that. What's the best game on? I've turned on. Oh, they're showing highlights from Cal-Oregon game. Whatever. Let's see. Gray says, UNC this year? I haven't paid close attention to them, but that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about them, honestly. Russell says, sister was at IU grad school in 74 to 77, got married on campus in 76. That's a great year to get married out of there. Got to see that great 76 team play at Assembly Hall. Yeah, that was, you could argue that's one of the great teams ever. He had some dudes on that team. And he also had a great team in 87, I think. Anyway, I was talking about Bob Knight, one of the great coaches of all time. And, like, I felt like he died, and it was like there were some stories, and then it was over. Like, it wasn't a big deal. And, I mean, he was such a big deal in my lifetime. I'm 51. But, like, 80s, well, really 70s, 80s, 90s, I mean, he was one of the really big stories in college basketball every single year at Indiana. And I had a chance to personally interview him twice when I was covering Kentucky in the 90s. And he was very intimidating. he was very intimidating. Not more intimidating than Pat Summitt, who was very intimidating in my opinion. Although she was great, but she was very intimidating to talk to. I think for me, I kind of propped her up higher than I did Bob Knight because Bob Knight was like such a dick. And she really wasn't. She was just tough. but she was. If you asked her good questions, she was fine. Bob Knight, you ask good questions, and he still mocks you because he hates sports writers, but it's all good. I was so lucky, man, to be coming of age at Kentucky in the mid-'90s because, like, Pitino was there, Tubby was there. They won 2 national championships. I got to hang out with Rick Majerus on the Riverwalk in San Antonio because of that job. Bob Knight, Krzyzewski, Trajan Langdon, interviewing Andre Miller. I said, what's the toughest thing about playing basketball at Utah? Because Andre Miller is from, like, inner city Los Angeles. He goes, because when I miss class, everybody knows I'm not there. I go, oh, because you're black. Got it. Yeah, again, just for the folks that just rolled in, usually we have post-game calls. I updated my application for streaming, and apparently it doesn't play well with Skype, so I wasn't able to get the Skype call working. So basically I can talk on Skype, but y'all can't hear the Skype calls, and that's a real problem. So we're not able to do that tonight. And I am definitely going to be, my number one job this coming week is to figure that out. I've got some ideas on how to fix that, but I can't really do it while we're going on the stream. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're kind of just talking about general topics. This has kind of turned into more of a quarantine show. If you guys remember the quarantine shows we used to do, just kind of sit around and riff about this, that, and the other thing. I guess Kentucky, Mississippi State is what we're watching right now. Going to kick off soon. Alabama will be kicking off soon too, I guess. Probably rather watch that. Yeah, we can just hate on Alabama and LSU. There's really no winners or losers in that one. Spicy Pieces, JG, are we top 4 SEC this year in hoops? I think so, yeah. Assuming that everybody's healthy, which they probably will be. I mean, Auburn had a specific problem last year where they didn't have any shooting, and I think they have shooting now. And so they addressed that. And I think their defense is going to take a step back, but I think their shooting takes a big step forward, maybe 2 steps forward, and I think they're going to be good. Yeah, so for me, top 4 would be good. Yes, I think top 4 is fair. I like where they're from. AU Taxman says the Alaskan Assassin. Yes, Trajan Langdon. I had the unique experience of watching Kentucky in that 98 regional final at Tampa. They put us in the Tropicana Dome before it was ready to open. There was still like dirt in the hallways and shit didn't work. It really wasn't open. Somebody lied. And Duke was up big in that game, and they ended up losing. Kentucky ended up coming back and beating them. And Wojo, who was their bitch-ass point guard, was literally crying. Like, and Trajan Langdon was like trying to like console him. And me and my homie, I was actually covering Kentucky, so I was not being brash about it, but they were behind like a screen between me and them. I was like this close to them, but they couldn't see me because I was behind a screen. I was like, big baby, quit crying. Maybe you shouldn't have slapped the floor in front of Wayne Turner when you're up 13, like a big mouth little bitch. And then when you lose, start crying, baby. A. Robinson says LSU by 70. Okay, so my take on this game might have not been the most popular take because I said I feel like you want Alabama to win so that the Iron Bowl has more stakes, and I don't mean food. Terrence says Bruce's teams will always be at least decent defensively. I think it's going to take some work, but you're going to have to get – I mean, I think Denver can be a decent defender. He may not be there yet. I think they haven't really pushed him to be that previously, like when he was at FIU. I think he just kind of was out there to shoot and score, but now they're going to ask him to be more of a fully featured player, and I think he'll come through. He's the kind of kid that I think really gives a shit about being a better player and being what his team needs, you know? Chip says that we informed AU Taxman there was a status upgrade. We have. He was very fired up, Chip, and I told him the story about how you and I had kind of voted, well, not voted, but just discussed his situation. So he's going to be Swoogan number 34, and actually number 19, who probably is gone now, but he had actually put up a super chat in his honor saying welcome to the Swoogan family, so that was exciting. Daniel M. says, just got home from the game. How did everyone feel about what we put on the field today? I think everybody was kind of meh. Like happy with the win, but just kind of wish that they had finished a little bit better. I don't know. Gray says, JG, is Chad going to unlock his potential here? He definitely seems like he could have a breakout year. I agree. The thing with Chad has always been consistency. When he was at San Diego State, which is a team I pay pretty close attention to, he would have a great game, and then he would have 2 games where he was essentially a 0. And it was just kind of like, which Chad's going to show up today? I feel like when he was at junior college last year, he knew that he was kind of teetering toward the abyss, and he played a lot more consistency last year, with a lot more consistency, I should say. And, Bruce and Steven and Chad and the coaches, they really haven't seen that from Chad. It seems like he's been pretty much repeatable here. His time at Auburn, he gives it hell. My concern, I don't know, this is just something that is kind of aesthetic more than anything else, but when he shoots the ball, he gets about 1 rotation from his release to the bucket. So, it's almost kind of a knuckleball. His form looks fine to me, but, his release is just really slow. So, if you watch, let's just pretend like he was standing right next to Denver when he's shooting a 3. Denver shoots 1, and it rotates 3 or 3.5 times before it hits the rim, like a normal traditional shot. When Chad shoots, it only rotates once between leaving his hands. So the balls look totally different when they're in the air. It's kind of weird to me. This is just kind of the talk on the team is that his shots tend to hang on the rim longer. Chad's do. They tend to just bounce and kind of hang, and then it helps him tip slam or lets other teammates kind of challenge for a rebound. We'll see if that plays out over the course of 10 or 15 or 20 games, but it's just something to keep an eye on. I just think it's a weird shot. It's just weird to me. I look at it, it looks weird because it's like a knuckleball, A. Robinson, here he goes again. JG with another L today. My man's been killing me about this all day. What's up with you? Kind of worried. It was the same L all along. You've just re-adjudicated this over and over again. You know what I'm saying to you right now? I'm saying this right here.
Order! The honourable gentleman will resume his seat immediately. Immediately! Immediately! I shall name the honourable member.
By the way, I offered $20 to anybody who could identify who that was at the top of the show, and nobody had even a chance. So the answer is Betty Boothroyd, former Speaker of the House of Commons from, I don't know what her years were, maybe 92 to 02, something like that. Betty Boothroyd, an absolute baller. Not as great as John Burko, but very good. Terrence says Denver is more in the mode of Bryce Brown and KT Harrell. Chad, not so much. Yeah, Chad's not he's a shooter, though. But, yeah, Denver's a pure shooter. Chad is more of a transition guy who can also shoot. So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Terrence. I would agree with that. And also a little piece of trivia. Denver has a brother whose name is Denver. Excuse me. Whose name is Dallas. And I'll tell you the story behind that. His mom and his dad, the firstborn, mom got to pick the name. She picked Dallas because she's a Cowboys fan. The second kid, dad got to pick. He's a Broncos fan. Named him Denver. True story. I met Denver's dad when he was, I think it was when he was visiting, but he was going to commit. And I like that guy. That guy, yeah, I am not surprised at all that he has produced 2 sons that played college basketball because he is a taskmaster. He will whoop your ass if you didn't hustle. Another great thing about Denver is that he has got that, I call it professionalism about him. He is there to work. And it reminds me of the way Mustafa was. Now, Mustafa showed up, and he was like the first guy to really have that attitude because they were coming out of the Barbie era and that early Bruce era where he had like Casey Ross Miller and guys like that who really weren't hard workers. He was just trying to get dudes that maybe had something, When Mustafa came, man, he was a different breed. He had played high-level AAU for years. He had played in really tough public school leagues. He was a badass. He, by himself, raised the expectation at Auburn from inside by the professionalism he showed as far as preparation, off-season workouts, Mustafa was invaluable in that way. I think Denver's kind of like that. I don't think Denver's quite as much of a talker as Mustafa was, although Mustafa wasn't a huge talker. Denver's not a big talker at all. He's just a guy who's like, I'm going to do this the right way, and if you guys want to do it, I'll show you how to do it. If not, fuck it. You do whatever you want to do. Let's see. Spicy Pieces, Jay, do you owe me $20 from Maggie Thatcher? I do not. She was never speaker. She was a prime minister. Betty Boothroyd was the Speaker of the House. Probably, I bet she probably was when Maggie Thatcher at the end of her reign. But I think of Betty Boothroyd as more of a John Major or a Tony Blair person. Melee says, what will Vandy's capacity be when the project is done? I can't answer that with specificity. My guess is 40,000. It is currently 28.5. Let's see. I'm reading a story here real quick. I don't have a good answer. If it was previously 40 and you think it'd be more than that, but I mean, why was there really that much clamoring for more tickets? AU Taxman says, never play cards with a guy who has the same first name as a city. That seems like solid advice. I would probably get on board with that. Spicy Pieces, our football team could use some Mustafas. You never hear Robbie Ashford being a Mustafa. No, that's probably not what you're hearing. Brandon J says, do you see similarities between BP's and HF's rebuilding process? Great question. I do. I just kind of made an offhand reference maybe 5 minutes ago about BP just getting dudes in that could just kind of play or bring something. Like KC was like that. KC Rossmiller. Like Simeon Bowers was kind of an odd, like he's like basically a power forward who liked to play point. Like he's kind of a weird player. Yeah, you're just trying to get guys in here that have something they can help you with while you continue to look for like the fully featured guys like Mustafa, guys like Walker White, guys like Joe Phillips at Tuskegee, BTW Tuskegee, guys like that. But it's going to take more than one class. It's going to take like 3 classes to fill it up, you know, to get to where your second team guys are pretty good. So, yeah, I do see some similarities with that. It took BP probably, 3 or 4 years? I'm trying to think now. Because remember how pissed off we were when they lost to Clemson in that NCAA tournament game in San Diego? We were like, God, they should be better than this. And then they got shithoused so bad in that game. You're like, maybe they really aren't better than this. And then they were a year later. Like, so that took like 3 years to even get to a point where you thought, they'll probably beat Clemson in the tournament, and they didn't. It might take you 3 years to get to that point. There she is, Jenny Dell, who was our girls we like to poke during the quarantine long before she was on national television. She's really good. I still would. This is just me, though. I mean, she's a fine sign language reporter. She does a great job, but she's still no Jill Arrington, in my opinion. That's my opinion. All right, Hayden's out. He says, love the drain, Jay. Got to go. Enjoyed it, man. Hey, let's make great decisions out there tonight, okay? And keep it going. We love seeing you, bro. Cleveland Brown jumped in. How about them Tigers? 1 win from Bowling, Ward M. Eagle. Thank you, Cleveland Brown. I am going to hydrate in your honor, even though you didn't mention it there, but you always do. Let's see. A. Taxman says, was Vaught a BP signee? He was not. He was a Vaught. Goddamn. I think he was a Lebo signee. That was a long time ago. You talking about Vaught Barber? Or am I missing on something? Chad B says, hey, Jay. Just joined the chat. Hey, welcome, bro. Heard the basketball talk. Thought the 3 main transfers looked really good. So we're talking about Chad, Denver, and Chaney, right? Yeah. Is this the deepest team Bruce has had yet? Interesting. I think so. I mean, they went like 14 or 15 deep in that game the other day, but a lot of that was just kind of walk on. So if you got Janai going, you got Aiden going, you probably got 12 deep that you feel pretty good about. We might disagree about who the 12 are because I think they value Chris Moore maybe more than I do. Brandon J says that Clemson game was ugly. Boy, it sure was, man. That's one of those games where I went into it thinking, okay, they've got like a 70% chance of winning this game and getting the Sweet 16, and they got shithoused. Like, they got fucked up. Like, what did they lose that game, by 30 or something like that? And, I mean, they got, by 10 minutes in, you were like, they're done. Like, holy God, what happened? That was a mess. Russell said, God forgive me for my blackened heart against Alabama. Go Tigers. I hate Alabama. I respect that opinion. I do. I honestly think that a true Auburn fan, like lifelong Auburn fan, probably just absolutely hates Alabama, and there's no way around it. That's not me, though. I have degrees from Transylvania University and University of Kentucky, and I came down here in 98, and I've been writing about Auburn pretty much the whole time I've been down here, with the exception of like 5 months when I covered Alabama State. But and I feel like I feel like I'm an Auburn advocate. So I mean, I'm not. You guys know where I'm standing on this, but like to me, like I can Alabama's like, well, I mean, whatever. Like, for me, I would want Alabama to be as good as possible, because then when Auburn has an opportunity to fuck them up in Jordan Hare, it looks like a bigger win, right? So if they come in on some fucking 8-game winning streak, like that makes Auburn look better, because I think Auburn's got a shot in that game. I really do. They just need to continue building, right? What they showed tonight was not enough to beat Alabama, but they still got time. And they're getting better. They're better than they were 3 weeks ago. And Chris M., who's I respect very much, I respect his opinion on this, he says, I don't want Alabama to so much as win a coin toss. I respect that. I mean, I feel like if you're a seriously hardened Auburn fan, particularly one of my age, so Chris is in that group, where you had to live through, as a kid, the 70s when it was a mess, when Bear Bryant was beating Auburn's ass all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're pissed, man. And then Dye comes along in the 80s and turns that shit around, and you're like, here we go again, and then it slipped away a little bit later on. I get it, man. I'm not going to be hating on anybody. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. Let's see. Shane says, I hate Georgia more than Alabama, but he hates them both. I think that's fair to say. For me, this is just me talking. Georgia's the one that I can't do. The barking shit, I just can't. Like, you see these videos of, like, these Georgia fans on their hands and knees barking at people at fucking games. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, go away. Chris M., I had totally forgotten about this part of the story. You said I grew up in Birmingham in the 70s. Let them lose all the games. That's right. You were definitely, yeah, you got knocked around. So Diego says, are we getting J-Head tonight? There's two problems with that. First of all, I can't get the phone lines to work tonight. I will fix it for the next, hopefully I'll fix it for the next one. I think it's a little bit of a software glitch that happened with an upgrade. I'll figure it out. Two, J-Head wasn't going to be available even if we did have our phone lines, because he's at a wedding in Michigan tonight. He had texted me on Tuesday to say, hey, man, I want to give you plenty of heads up. I'm not going to be able to be on the phone. I've got my son with me. I got to go to Michigan. We're going to be in a wedding, blah, blah, blah. So we weren't going to get J-Head. It just wasn't going to happen. So we'll pick him up next week and wish him the best, because traveling with a kid is not fun, like a young kid, at all. Man, if you grew up in Birmingham in the 70s as an Auburn fan, like, you've got my esteem. I'm coming into any Auburn opinion piece with my ears wide open to you. That's a tough place to be in the 70s growing up as an Auburn fan. Daniel M. says, lifelong Auburn fan here. I want them to lose every single game they play. I think that's fair. I respect it. It's not like I'm cheering for them to win normally. But I just feel like if the stakes are bigger at Jordan Hare, the better. I feel like a stranger says, I wouldn't cheer for Alabama if they were fighting the British in 1776. Oh. Slava says, I got you. How to use Skype beginner's guide. Great. Yeah, that's all it takes. I've only been doing this since 2017, bro. Everything was working fine until they did this upgrade. Or whatever. There was an update on the... that's what I'm talking about with Jalen Milroe. He can throw a deep ball at nobody's business, but man, when he's asked to throw like intermediate and short routes, like it's a gamble, man. I don't know. It's yay or nay. You never know. Let's see. Brandon J says, do you think 09 to 20 is worse than the Barfield era? 09 to 20. Man, Barfield era was bad, dude. That was a very short era, though, compared to 09 to 20. I don't really know how I can say that. 4R Tiger says, my disdain for Georgia has intensified in the last 15 years. Bama is deep-seated and long-standing. Yeah, I think that's fair. There probably was a time 4R back like 90s up to 2000s, early 2000s, where you weren't really worried about it. Like, it was just kind of a fun game. And it was one that you wanted to win, obviously, but you kind of felt going in you had a shot every single time. And they had that weird thing going from like 96 until maybe 06, where like the road game, the road team would always win. It's kind of changed into just Georgia winning every game now, but it is what it is. I feel like a stranger. That's the funniest comment I saw all day. You wouldn't cheer for Alabama if they were playing the British in 76. 1776, I should say. Cleveland Brown says, if it were Bama against COVID, I would still choose COVID. How about that? Wow. MWD says, 09 to 20, we won a natty and played for another. Nope. Including the amazing game in 13, right? Which is, I mean, that was pretty tasty to watch Saban have to walk off that field and be like, fuck. You know what I mean? Let's see. Daniel M., who I mentioned earlier, he just got back from the game, so he had a chance to see them as his first game seeing Auburn live. Cam Brown really looks the part. Great size and good speed. What's the scouting report on him? What year will he get better? Let's see. So he is a sophomore this year. The scouting report on him is that he generally is a good catcher of the football, but doesn't get open as consistently as he should, which is kind of a refrain if we're talking about Auburn's wide receivers in general. Cam Brown is a popular player. He's a very friendly person, very chatty, has great verbal skills. I don't know if that really translates to anything on the football field, but I think it makes him a better teammate. And he's somebody that I really like to see good things happen to him because he's really, really, really good kid. Timothy C. says, Bama fans are way worse than Georgia fans. Their arrogance knows no bounds. I hate both, though. Yeah, I don't ever get barked at by Alabama fans. But, again, the Alabama fans that I'm around, and I'm around a bunch, they're all graduates. So, like, it's different. You know what I mean? If you're around sidewalkers, I could see them being horrible. Kind of like UK basketball sidewalkers, who are probably the worst. And I say that as a Kentucky graduate. Like, Kentucky sidewalk basketball fans are fucking awful. They talk massive shit. They haven't accomplished anything. Like, well, their last natty was like 08 or something like that, or maybe 10 or 12 or something like that. Like, they have so, like, look in the NBA, there's so many UK guys there. Booker, SGA, Aaron Murray, like, all these dudes are studs, and they never win shit at Kentucky because the coach is just outdated and outmoded, and he doesn't know how to put a team together. He don't know how to make, like, superstars play together. He's terrible at it. Jade Milrow goes down on a 3rd and 6. Man, even teams with a lot of depth on offensive line can't stop that. It happens sometimes. Daniel M. says, thanks for the insight on his verbal skills. That made me chuckle. Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with him as a football player. He's somebody I just talk to, you know. I probably know him more as a human being. And he's great. But again, I don't feel he gets open enough. He can catch a football, though. There was thought that when they signed him, he would be a 50-50 guy, he could win a lot of 50-50s, but he really hasn't as much maybe in his career so far. Alabama's going to punt here. So their first drive was not exactly peaches and cream. Mobile Lump says, sidewalks are knuckle-dragging mouth breathers. Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on that. Digital T says Thorne looks more composed out there. What do you think has made the difference? Well, I don't know if those sideways scramble runs in the first half were really showing a lot of composure, but I would agree he's been playing better. I think they've just simplified it a little bit. Kaduman, I don't know if he's still here, but he was talking about this during the game where, you know, Peyton can't read a whole field. This idea of, I'm going to work 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think he can do that. I think he's kind of a half field guy. And so I think they've kind of rethought their passing game paradigm where instead of like giving him 4 progressions, they've cut it down to like 2, and both of them are on the same side of the field. So they've kind of simplified things for him. And I don't think he's dumb or anything. I know he's not dumb, but like I just feel like he gets a little anxious out there, and they've tried to make it a little simpler for him. Hornatius says, "I'm back. Did we get the sex line working again? We did not. We did not. Jay was not able to fix that while streaming, and I am morose about failing you guys this way. And I'm sorry about that." Chad B says, "Jay, what kind of a season do you expect Aiden to have? Can he be close to Jared in his junior, senior year?" No, I don't. Jared was extremely effective later in his career. I think he can be like Jared early in his career. I think those guys are similar in a lot of ways. Aiden, Jared was always undersized. Aiden is undersized, but he's not really super thin. I don't think he'll get pushed around and just violated the way that Jared did early in his career. Jared learned how to deal with it, kind of like the way Leo Messi's done it in soccer. But it took a little while. Aiden's a lot smoother early on in his career. I think he's going to be a good player, but no, I don't think he's going to be, junior or senior Jared, no. Or just junior Jared is what I really mean. Let's see. Feel Like a Stranger says, "You missed it, Hornatius. Denton's mom called in and read sensual poetry." God, I can't even imagine Becky reading sensual poetry. Let's see. Hornatius says, I only want to hear Denton's mom read haikus." Haikus. I love it. Can we read some haikus? It's a traditional 3-line poem with 17 syllables written in a 5-7-5 syllable count. An old pond. A frog jumps in. The sound of water. Badass. The light of a candle is transferred to another candle. Spring twilight. What does that do for you, Big Daddy? The idea of sensual poetry made me laugh. That's funny. Digital T says, "Yeah, not saying that Peyton is great, but you can see a difference." Yeah, definitely. Mississippi State, he was great. Today, he was solid, I would guess. The pick six was particularly alarming. I was like, whoa, man. Like, that was a bad, like critically bad fuck up there, but yeah, whatever. Timothy C says, "JG, did Auburn recently claim more national championships? What's your feelings on that if true?" No, they did not. They put that stuff on their website years ago, like maybe 5 years ago. They haven't been very assertive. Oh, Jaden Daniels feels like he's got somebody, and he does, and you know what that is. I don't have a sound to play for that. Do we have a sound we can play for that? I mean, we're on this is an Auburn show, so we're just going to, what do we do, guys? I don't know what to do. Here, we'll just give him one of these. This is inoffensive.
You could drop a tarantula into his shorts and he'll still be cool.
Jaden Daniels just dropped a fucking 46-yard bomb on these bitches. And he had absolutely killed those guys. Malachi Moore is like, yo, what's going on? Malik Neighbors is so absolutely disgusting. I was checking him out on PFF the other day. Like, he grades out like 85 or higher every fucking game, man. He is like an absolute. Oh, I saw Travaris Robinson there. T-Rob, former Auburn Tiger. He is so good. He's probably the second best receiver in the country behind Marvin Harrison Jr. So good. Diego says, just play touchdown, Auburn. I don't know why Auburn can't have one guy like Malik Neighbors. I know LSU just like grows them. There's like 2 of them on the team at any given moment. Whether it's Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or fucking Malik Neighbors, or it seems like they always have somebody. Odell Beckham. You guys are amazing, man. I've had so much time. I've had so much fun with you guys today, especially considering I don't have the phone line. You guys could have just said, fuck this, I'm out of here. And I appreciate y'all hanging around. Chip said sensual haiku in. Daniel M says a tarantula in his pants and he'd still be cool. Ha ha ha. You hadn't heard that one before? I play that one every now and then. I wasn't sure what to play there. Madison C says, is it too early for neck? Got him. I like it. Everybody loves a neck. Was this Derek Jeter? I have an irrational hatred for Derek Jeter. I don't like the Yankees. I don't like him. I don't like the fact that he went to the Marlins and then he quit. And they were shitty while he was there. I just don't like Derek Jeter. Farm Data, look at this, man. Late in the show says, yo, War Damn Hee-Haw, War Damn Hugh with the play sheet. Uh-oh. I know where Farm Data's thinking. He's thinking that Hugh took over the play calling in this game. How about that? Thank you, Farm Data. Thanks for jumping in, bro. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've been here or not, but I can't get the Skype to work with the updated my streaming system. We got an update the other day, which I had to take, and it's not playing well with Skype tonight, so I haven't been able to take a single call. Well, I can take the calls. You guys can't hear them, which is kind of a problem. But anyway, I've been just babbling on here for him. Thanks for jumping in, bro. You're always super supportive, and I thank you for that. Diego says, Coach Hunter, yeah, we love Coach Hunter, and Jay Header the best, but you are the GOAT, JG. Thank you for saying that. Not many people say that. Not even my wife. No, I'm just kidding. She does like me a lot. Damon K says, JG, much like Thorne, today has had his ups and downs. AU Taxman says, did y'all see Jeter act too cool to put on a cowboy hat on the broadcast the other night? I did not. Darkside says, reboot your machine. We will wait. Why would we do it again, bro? Why would we do it again? I already tried it once, and I was damn sure it was going to work, too, and it didn't. It sucks. Hornatius says, Jay has the high hair. It is frosty at the tips. His wife is the boss. That's the haiku right there. Well done, sir. Have you ever been to Japan, or are you of Japanese descent? Justin C. in the house. He says, what's up, JG? Hey, JG. Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you, bro. We're still here banging it out, bro. We're kind of watching Alabama LSU. I mean, I don't know if we're officially watching that, but... And we've had some difference of opinion on exactly who we're pulling for in this game. I respect all opinions because they can't both lose, unfortunately. I'm of the opinion that I think I'd like Alabama to win because I think that potentially ups the stakes for a game at Jordan-Hare here in a couple, 3 weeks. But there are also some very respected members of the community. Actually, most people are of the opinion that they could never pull for Alabama. It doesn't matter. So, and I obviously respect that opinion. Little split zone run concept with a screen throw. Surprised that LSU got caught on that. But Jace McClellan's pretty damn fast. Let's see. Timothy C. says, I hate Jeter too, but giving his love interest gift baskets after the entanglements is hilarious. It is kind of funny. That's a baller game. Is that game on Tuesday, Justin? I thought it was later in the week, bro. I said earlier I thought it was Wednesday or Thursday. What a dumbass I am. Let me see. I was still on the haiku thing. Auburn does indeed, as you said, play it on Tuesday night. God dang it. For what it's worth, Ken Palm has that as an Auburn loss, 72-71. I don't know if that means much. But he gives you an idea of what he's thinking about it. He thinks Auburn and Baylor are pretty much even. I mean, I can't really say much about it. I think some of that's gonna hinge on Janai's availability. And just see what's going on. Kevin O says, back to football, which I'm totally fine with, saying that our tight ends cost us 11 to 17 points tonight. Had a couple nasty drops, and then a weird sticks route that was like 2 yards short. Let's see. Brandon J says, been on the board since 06. Can you give a quick rundown of who started Auburn Sports and who were the lead editors? I think Jay Lee was in 06. I think so. So the site was really started, I'm trying to think now. I think Will Woods was the guy all along. In the very beginning, Mark Murphy was kind of attached to Rivals. No, it was Alliance Sports at the time. But I think Will Woods was the guy, he was the guy behind the guy. And then when they broke off and Jay Lee and Brian kind of came to power together in Brian came over here in 01 as a full-time writer. And then Jay Lee probably came in 03-ish maybe as a recruiting writer. Jaden Milrose out and about, and he's going to get a touchdown for Alabama. So Jay Lee was like the recruiting writer, and then Brian was the team guy, also doing some recruiting. And together, those guys really built this site into what it became. I mean, this site is what it is because of Jay Lee and Brian. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. I don't ever take credit for shit that I didn't do. Unfortunately, those guys got into a little bit of a row around 2010, maybe 9, something like that. And they got at each other's throats. And they couldn't continue working like that. And so what happened was Jay Lee found a way to buy Brian out, and Jay Lee took over the site. This is around 2010. And Brian became a free agent and then ultimately got signed on with 24/7. And then Jay Lee hired me in 2012 to be his team reporter because he didn't really have a team reporter prior to that. It was him and Hoke, but Hoke was really doing recruiting at that time. So they hired me to come over from the Montgomery Advertiser to be their team reporter in 2012 because I've been friends with Jay Lee the whole time. We get along really good. So I come over here, and then Jay Lee got into that little snag where he talked about finishing on, you guys know what I'm talking about, Sergeant Major Obby. And then he ended up selling the site to me in October 2012. So I have been the number one guy here since October of 2012. Ronnie, who runs the 24/7 site, in an incredibly short-sighted decision, fired Brian Matthews in 2013, I think, like May of 13. I have no idea why he would ever do this, but he did. And I literally talked to Brian that day and said, you got a home here no matter what. And so essentially that day I hired Brian. Like the day he got fired over there for no reason, I picked him right back up. And he's been here with me ever since. I love Brian. He's my number one guy, and I love him. And then Jay Lee I had to go back and get Jay Lee in 2015, I think. I went back and got him, and he was like the recruiting guy, and then he left in 2021 or 2 maybe to go over with Shannon Terry and at the new On 3 site. So I've been the guy here since 12. Jay Lee was the guy from 09 to 12, and then prior to that, it was kind of like, I don't really know what was going on. Will was involved for a while, and then Jay Lee and Brian kind of ran it together, and then they got into it, and so that's a lot. That's the story right there. Sorry if that went on too long. I apologize for that. Will Woods was definitely a very important part of the heritage of this site, and he's somebody that I really, 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 really want to sit down and talk to. I've got his phone number. I met his sister and her husband in Punta Cana a year and a half ago. We happened to be hanging out in the pool together. We started talking about the site, and she was like, my brother's Will Woods, and I was like, holy shit. But I just haven't actually called Will. I guess I just haven't done it yet, but I will. I'd love to get him on the show or something at some point. Sorry, guys. For those of you who've been on the site for a long time, AU Taxman's one of those. Farm Dad is one of those. I'm sure there's some other ones. I thought that'd be a fun history lesson. Now then, there was something else I wanted to talk to y'all about, and I don't remember what it was. I feel like it was something that somebody had asked me a question. I don't remember what it was. Sorry, guys. I lost it. Anyway, Hornatius says, be mad a Weezer. His CPAP works overtime. It doesn't work well. That's a new haiku from Hornatius. Be mad a Weezer. That's funny. Be mad. Be mad needs glasses, man. Here in the last, probably 6 months, he started looking, when we're hanging out and he's looking at his phone, he's got it, this close to his face. He, needs to get it this close to read it. I'm like, Brian, bro, you need glasses. He goes, I don't want to go. I'm like, why? It's not a big deal. I wear glasses. He's like, he's probably thinking to himself, yeah, you look like a fucking idiot. What's funny is that for me, I got to hold it way out here to read it. I don't know. Everybody's different. All right, 7-7 is what I'm looking at here on my screen between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the LSU Tigers. Melee says, are we going to talk about how huge the Arkansas game is now? It is. That's a big one. That is Jane Daniels is off and running, guys. Oh, my God. he was mighty close to getting that way out. That's going to be a tilt game, man. Honestly, if Auburn wins that game, that gets them to 6 wins with New Mexico State on tap, and then you got the Iron Bowl at home. If they lose that game, then New Mexico State becomes an absolute must-win with the 6th win, and then you've got the Iron Bowl, and you're not necessarily feeling great because you've kind of stuttered late in the second half. So, Chad B. actually asked a question that I meant to answer earlier. What's your opinion on us landing Cam Coleman or Ryan Williams? It's going to be tough. Cam Coleman, of course, from Phoenix City, Alabama, committed to Texas A&M. Ryan Williams from Saraland, Alabama, committed to Alabama. If you want my opinion, and I am not an number one recruiting guy, I try to keep my head in it, my ears in it, and I know some people who know shit. I think Ryan Williams will be at Auburn. He is at Alabama now. He's committed to Alabama. I think Auburn will get him. I don't feel as good about Cam Coleman. And until Auburn goes down there to Central Phoenix City and pulls a big-time player, I'm not going to believe it until they do it. My opinion. Abby Travels says, logging off, War Eagle, and see y'all next week. Hashtag cook them hogs. Abby Travels, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for being on with us. Terrence says, back then you couldn't take phone calls while streaming. Oh, wait, LOL. I don't get it. Listen, man, we've had so many screw-ups through the years on this show, like where I lost the stream and all that kind of crap. For the most part, we've gotten it straightened out, but this situation with the Skype tonight is really frustrating. God dang it, it pisses me off so bad. I'm going to pull it up one more time because I'm so pissed about this. It makes me so mad, dude. To think that we've missed out on all this stuff. Like I'm doing a Skype call test right now, and I can hear the girl talking, but you guys don't hear it. So frustrating, dude. God dang it. I'm looking at the settings on here, and they look good to me. Such a bummer, man. You guys still don't hear that. You guys still don't hear that. You guys still don't hear that. Damn it. So frustrating, bro. I just don't know how to fix it. It's too tough. It's something I got to do when we're not on the air. Sorry about that. It's totally on me. Here we go. We got another haiku from Hornatius. The phone line sucks ass. No, it's Jay's problem. Jay's tin can and string is broke. Call pipe layer guy. Hey, why's my video broken now? What is this? Now my video's not working. You got to be kidding me, bro. There we go. Oh, nope. Nope. Man, whatever. Yeah, I know I froze, bro. How does that happen? How can everything go wrong at once? Jeez. Trip says more JG, less bunker. How in the world is my oh my God. So frustrating, bro. My God. I'm probably going to have to wrap it up now. This thing's frozen here now, too. That's crazy, man. Oh, my God. The haiku did it, man. I think the haiku, like, jinxed us. It ruined the video now. Well, how can everything go wrong at once? I didn't even upgrade to Sonoma either. I think we're going to have to wrap this up, guys. I can't restart again. Uh-oh, that guy got hit in the balls, didn't he? Oh, no, he got hit in the hip. I think I'm going to have to go, guys. I lost video now. I'm going to have to upgrade to Sonoma. That's what I'm going to have to do. Justin Z making me laugh, bro. Terrence, real quick, what are your plans for brain draining during basketball season? So usually we just do like conference games, post game. It's really hard to do basketball live because it's so fast. And you guys are like, if you're 30 seconds ahead of me or 20 seconds ahead of me, it's like over. Hornation says, Jay just disappeared. My screen is very grateful. His face breaks cell phone. You bastard. I guess I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Seriously, I can't get all this stuff fixed. It's so annoying. I don't know how to fix it. I will upgrade to Sonoma and we'll figure it out later. Anyway, guys, thank you for the stream. Thank you to our absolute badasses, our legendary super chatters, whom I will name momentarily. Oh, get over here. God dang it. Ugh, you bastard. Oh, my God. All right, anyway, guys, we'll just wrap it up there. Appreciate you guys. Brandon, I don't want to do this, bro, but it's messed up. I don't know how to fix it. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. We love you guys. We're going to have a lot better time next time. I'm going to have the phone line working. I'm going to have the video working, all that kind of stuff. Yes, we will get this done. Feel like a stranger says Baylor drain. I'm going to keep that at TVA. That is a big game, so I kind of want to do that, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys. Let's make great decisions out there. I love you guys. I will see you later. Peace and love. Deuces.